welcome back, everybody, to day 2 of E3 2014. This is actually just my demo tape for IGN for next year.
Oh,
I got to show them that I can talk like that. So I can be like, hey, everybody, welcome back to the greatest shit. This is the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. We're gonna
E3, who's excited?
Let's go to the Twitterverse and find out what they're doing.
Twitterverse.
My name is Jeff Healy.
And I'm sleepy.
So, folks, welcome back. Aaron was wonderful enough to join us.
What's up?
For our second day because I figured at this point we've got enough people at Rage Select that I can get the people who really care about the conferences that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So yesterday Jason was here from Microsoft, and Aaron, you are since I had to turn in my colors when I became a professional.
Yeah.
You were the biggest Sony fanboy that I know.
Yeah.
And today we're going to start, but we're going to start with Ubisoft.
Okay.
And then we're going to go into
They
Sony.
make stuff for Sony, so
Yes.
yeah, I'm good.
We'll save Sony for last, just like it was yesterday. And then, folks, if you haven't been listening, join us tomorrow, where I'm going to get John, who likes Nintendo, to come in and talk with us about Nintendo and their direct thing.
Don't hold it against them, folks.
But I tell you what, Aaron, before we get started, what did you think of Microsoft and EA? Just brief, broad strokes.
I will say this, as someone who intentionally tries to hate on Microsoft,
Yeah.
I did not hate them.
Okay.
And so that's a big step for me. But I enjoyed what I saw. I keep fighting not getting an Xbox One, and they keep bringing games back that I keep saying, if they bring these games back, I will get an Xbox One. And it was Crackdown.
Yep.
That is the one game that I love.
Okay.
And they already have Killer Instincts, and so it's like, but the counter to that, I can't justify buying a $500 system for 2 games.
$400 system.
I can't justify buying a $400 system for 2 games.
Okay. And what about EA? Any of that stuff?
EA,
so much unfinished things.
so
many
many.
things.
I loved how they prefaced it with, if what we don't show you that is available, we'll show you some behind-the-scene footage of us working on stuff. So here's Mass Effect.
Yeah, here's a bunch of developers in a dark room.
Here's something that you guys want,
Right.
but we're not going to get. Oh, wait, here's Battlefront.
Yeah.
It's like, you went to the location. Sweet. You guys were just a bunch of nerds. But EA did what EA does. You know, they're a powerhouse, so they're gonna bring it when it's time for everything to be released, and I'm positive that they're gonna keep everybody posted with gameplay footage here and there and different leaks of whatnot. But I like the stuff coming out for EA. I'm Battlefield.
Yeah.
Hardline. I was so trying to get on that beta. Hopefully something happens to where I can get on the beta. But I love that stuff, especially just the cops and robbers setting. Because don't get me wrong, nothing against the military, but there's just too many games that focuses on the military.
Yeah.
Bring it in a little bit.
We've all had our fill of modern military shooters at this point.
You know, it's like you got the Call of Duties, you got all the other stuff, and like nothing is Battlefield because you got the naval assault that just came out, so people are still like really hungry for that. But Hardline, that's bringing it into the city.
Yes.
Like, I'm sorry, that video where the crane smashed into the 2 buildings, I lost my shit.
I was playing last night and that happened. And I was just
gosh. Oh man, and then you get the grappling hooks and the zip lines.
Yep.
And it's building on that fantasy where we're all, we either want to pull a heist or prevent a heist.
Right.
And the fact that you have, 31 other people helping you do this.
Yep.
It's like, okay, let's get this on. And I'm sorry, you get to tase people.
Yep.
And I don't know if it actually says it in the game. You can let me know. But that guy said, "Don't tase me, bro."
It sounded like that's what he said. Actually, I was playing it last night, and we'll go move from this pretty quickly because I want to spend some more time with this as a whole thing. But last night, I ran up to a guy and I meleeed him. And it actually had a thing, that part in the trailer where they grab the guy at the end and they handcuff him?
Yeah.
I actually did that to somebody.
Whoa.
And it was like as one of the robbers. And then there was a button over him that said, like, hold E to interrogate. And I was like, okay. And so I hit the E button, and then I got shot in the face. And I respawned,
it's like interrogate in a corner somewhere.
I don't know. Yeah, that seems pretty cool. But I tell you what, we're here to talk about Ubisoft and Sony, so let's get to it.
Yes.
Before we start talking about Ubisoft, I'm going to say, you know what, Aaron? I don't like Aisha Tyler as a presenter for Ubisoft.
Right.
I think she is a beautiful woman.
Correct.
I think that I love her as Lana on Archer. I like.
That's just her voice.
I like her anytime I see her as an actress.
Okay.
I do not like her stand-up, and I think that she always, to me, comes off as trying way too hard at Ubisoft.
Right.
She always seems like she's just like it's like she's grabbed the camera and she's screaming, "I'm a nerd for fuck's sake" at it. And
well, that was actually one of the first things she said coming out.
Yes.
And when people were like, as she was like, the internet was blowing up because they were just trying to figure out why was she doing this again, and she's like, because I love everything nerdy.
Right.
They put me in a game. That's awesome for you. I'm happy that you have the hookup.
Yep.
As an actor, fuck you. You know, I want to have the hookup. I want to be at a press conference. I want to present to the world this awesome stuff. But also at the same time, it was her third time. It was her third year doing it.
Yeah.
Third time's a charm. Not so much. They didn't. Because I'm a nerd and I notice things, they didn't keep her on the stage as much as they've done in the past couple of years.
That's true, and I saw that as well. I did appreciate, because I seem to remember in years past she spent a lot of time ad-libbing out there. Especially, was it last year or the year before where they had that YouTube guy out there with her, where they were doing their little bantery skits, and it was just like,
I don't even know.
Shoot me in the fucking
it was just
face.
like, okay, make this in.
Yes.
Make this in.
Let's look at video games. Okay, one more thing before we move on to games, and that is that I'm going to say, I know that Ubisoft is really big fans of Rage Select. They're listening to this podcast right now. Ubisoft, next year, you have got to make Aisha Tyler wear flats, because she's like 12 feet tall, and then you put another 4 inches on her with those heels, and then you bring out like regular size developers,
and then you get the little short Frenchy dudes,
and they all look like hobbits, man. Like, it's just weird looking. All right, well, first up is they opened before anything even happened with I think this was the first time that we had seen Far Cry 4 so far at the show.
I think in the entirety of E3, I think Microsoft played something for it. But,
did they? I'll look it up.
But if not, then yes, this was the first time we actually saw
like
actual in-game footage, and I do believe this was the
I think
bus.
It was the first one, where they were on the bus, with the main character, and they were coming to a checkpoint, and I'm not exactly certain what happened at that checkpoint.
Fake passport, had some money in it, didn't go right. Like, I just saw the guards did the ultimate slap out of the hand.
Oh yeah,
it was like, fuck your shit.
Yeah, and threw it on the ground.
Yeah, threw it on the ground, straight up, Lonely Island style. And then they started popping off with their AKs, and it was not a good day.
Can I ask you, Aaron? Did you notice there was a part when all that shit started, right, where the guards, they were shooting in one direction, and this other guy, like dude in sunglasses, comes out with a handgun and like shoots one of the guards.
Yes,
and he just stands there like he's ended it all. Well, and they just turn around and shoot the fuck out of him.
Well, he shot the guard, the closest guard to him.
Yeah,
and then he went straight stormtrooper and started missing.
Yeah, and
then I don't know if he ran out of ammo or he just was like suicide mission.
Yeah,
and he was done.
So from there we had a chopper that landed, and our villain, whose name is Pagan Min, voiced by none other than Troy Baker,
of course,
came out, and we got to see what kind of brand new psychotic asshole we're gonna mess with in this game.
This is what amazes me, that there was so much controversy for this guy being on the cover of Far Cry 4.
Yeah.
Because so many people were like, oh, the white man oppressing people again. I was like, that guy's not white.
That guy never looked white.
That guy does not look white.
Nope.
Whatsoever. And then, we got introduced to this guy. I love extremely horrific bad guys.
Yeah.
And this guy, as soon as he stepped out, just his demeanor, I was just like, the guy who just got shot in the shoulder is going to die.
Yeah.
I was actually waiting for the main character to die or something to happen to him to where it's like he gets knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
But I knew for a fact that death was about to happen, but just how awesome it was going to be, I had no idea.
Yep. Stab that guy. Just stab the fuck out of him.
Times.
And then, like, so apparently the main character in the game knows this guy. Like, he came to pick him up or whatever, and then he like takes a selfie with him with his blood.
And that's the awesome thing. You get to see your character right off the bat. Because I remember in Far Cry 3, you know, you see your character kind of through flashes, like drunken, wild party island flashes, and so But also at the same time, he looked like everybody else. I'm sorry, it was like the generic white dude.
Right.
But in this one, you know, I can't say he's not the generic white guy, but you know, he looks different. Got some dark hair, kind of a little spiky. But then the fact that the main bad guy is like, we're gonna tear shit up. I was just like, I want to play the bad guy. I want to be the bad guy. Can I please be the bad guy?
I think that if Far Cry's calling card from here on out is a charismatic, psychotic bad guy, I'm fine with that. Because
can we get Far Cry 7? Come on.
I did not get it rolling. Voss in the last game.
Oh my gosh, she was so awesome.
Somebody in the chat said, I can't remember. I'm sorry, dude. I can't attribute this to you, but saying that this new guy obviously does not know the definition of insanity. And nope. So from there, Ubisoft, we moved on to what I like to call the don't give a fuck section. Don't give a fuck part 1. Also known as, hey, we're making another Just Dance game.
Just Dance 2015 with more songs that you are tired of hearing from your radio stations, and it's going to be in your living room.
I was sitting here watching this with Jason. I was just like, they must make so much money with
ridiculous.
Those games. They must make so much
ridiculous.
money.
It's the, don't get me wrong, I have friends who have got the Just Dance games.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. It's whatever you like. That's what I will say.
It's Dance Dance Revolution
it's
for
Dance
our
Revolution.
generation right
yes,
now.
For the people who are tired of following arrows.
Right, exactly.
You know, it's like, just move. Oh, we got a freestyle section. Do the Elaine.
Yeah.
You know? And so, but it's one of those things where it gets to a point where there's always going to be music.
Yeah.
So in my head, it's just like there's always going to be Just Dance because they have a formula. Unlike, I look at like, you know, I compare this game to like the rock bands and stuff like that.
Sure,
you can't make the rock bands anymore. People are tired of like the peripherals that take up all the room and everything.
That's true, but that's just me. I think they just stopped making them personally. But whatever. But
it was one of those things because like for a second there, when Rock Band 2 came out, you were like, this game is going to go on forever. And they started releasing all these different music packs and stuff. And then after a while, you're like, I'm tired of this. And then they released Rock Band 3 with the keyboard.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, a keyboard.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this. And so, but I don't think anyone will ever get tired of the Just Dance games because at the same time, it's you.
Yeah.
And you're not like simulating anything. You actually got to dance. And the fact that they're incorporating like the mobile technology with it now.
Let's go in order. Like first off, in Just Dance 2015, it looks like they have a new feature where if you dance well enough, or you can even do like remix stuff, and then it'll actually capture you doing that and then upload you as like an alternate track that other people can follow along with. Kind of interesting. I mean, I guess it's
going to be real horrible because there's going to be some questionable things happening on the internet.
You got to wonder if Ubisoft, if it's going to be the sort of thing where there's somebody actually looking at every one of those videos, or whether it's just some kind of algorithm like, man, this guy's got like 100%, like 16 times on this. Just capture him and upload him. It says capture, and suddenly that dude's like, pants off, bitches.
Yeah, he's like, I gotcha. Helicopter on you.
But then the other thing. Okay, this you guys, this seems like the very, very worst idea I've ever heard of in my entire life. So apparently, if you have certain types of televisions, basically anything that can open up a web page, it looks like, you can go to a web page now, and you can download this Just Dance app on your phone, and you can hook the two of them up together. And what'll happen is that on the web page, it'll show you the Just Dance dance moves, and then your phone will act as an accelerometer so that you can dance with your phone, so you don't have to have anything. You basically just do Just Dance wherever you want to. Now, you can see right now what the problem with this is, and it was one thing. I don't know if you noticed this, but the guy that came out on stage, he had the cell phone, and do you know what was attached to the cell phone?
Yes, I do. I was waiting for you. I was going to see if this is where you're going.
Yes.
Because, yes.
It was a fucking wrist strap.
Wrist strap.
Because I don't know if you've ever played Just Dance when you're super drunk before, but they're going to break so many goddamn phones.
Look up the YouTube video of the Wii when...
Yeah.
Just look up when the Wii got released.
Phones into TVs, phones dropping on the ground, phones broken all over the place.
You know, every cell phone provider, they're going to start selling insurance like a madman because of this.
Yeah. And so they had a thing where they brought out like 60 different people all to play at one time.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Did you also see the guy who came out to present it standing in the back?
Yes.
While he was not dancing like everyone else?
Yes. Oh, by the way, as we're going to talk about presenters, I'm going to say that, like, for the most part, we've had a couple of people who've come out. I mean, we had Gigolo Joe's Satan cousin yesterday doing EA with his leather suit. They had the new, I forget what that dork's name is, who's the new games head at Microsoft, who was out there doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
But can I just say that, like, out of all the developers that I saw, the dude who's the head of the studio making Far Cry 4 is like the goddamn Ron Swanson of developers.
Oh my gosh, man.
Like, big.
That was Far Cry 4.
That was Far Cry 4. Like,
as you can see, this and this, you're given a fake passport and a gun, and then afterwards, you're fucked. And then he walks off stage.
Yep. I was like, I want that guy to do everything.
I want to be his friend.
That's
what I want. I want to be his friend and just be like, I know I have somewhat of a deep voice, but this guy, he'll make your balls drop.
And no fake jokes that didn't work. Just fucking,
nothing,
there's my
up.
game, and I'm out.
This is my game.
Great.
I get to I hang out with all these French dudes.
Yep.
I'm not playing around. Pay
Please
me.
call me.
Pay me.
All right, so I think we're moving a little slow here. We're gonna have to pick up the pace. But next after Just Dance, we had a really long CGI trailer for The Division.
Correct.
With all this invisible stuff was happening.
They're just trying to build on emotions. That's all
happening.
it was.
It was another. This was Jason and I were talking about this yesterday. This E3 so far this year has been the E3 of the quiet, sad trailer.
Correct.
And this was another quiet, sad trailer all the way up to the end where some raiders were getting ready to, I don't know what they were going to do to that dude, but then your Division dudes come out and set up, and then a big bus full of raiders, I guess.
I don't think it was a bus full. I think it was just people burning shit. It was like,
the flamethrower guy came out.
Yeah, the flamethrower guy came out. It was like, you really gonna fuck with me?
Okay, I don't know how you feel about The Division, but I'm going to tell you this right now that, and I want you to tell me what you feel about The Division, because right now I need to know why I'm supposed to care about The Division.
Okay,
like the stuff they've shown, like that CGI trailer was very sad and it's very emotional.
Yeah,
but it seems like the whole thrust of what they're saying right now is that you were going to be the one to put civilization back together with your band of freedom fighters. And I'm like, that's not enough. I need to know more. I need to know the reward part of the gameplay loop. After I get done killing those raiders, what do I get for my troubles?
Right.
And that's what's missing so far for me.
For me, I love third-person shooters. I love actually seeing the character. Does that mean that I care about that character? No. It just gives me a better understanding and a better grasp of what I'm doing, because first-person shooters, you don't get peripheral. You need peripheral. That's one thing that it takes away. For me, the trailer, it really didn't. I was just like, oh man, this would be a cool movie. That's what those trailers do for me. Like I'm a person that has to see gameplay footage, and so from the first footage that they ever shown of The Division, I was like, this is cool. This is what I like. I like people shooting people through cars. Oh, that's never been done before in a game. That's been done before in the game, but you know what? It looks pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, they get to go into a police station, and all of a sudden in my head, I'm like, go to the weapons locker. Where do they go? The weapons locker. And I'm like, okay, this game is interesting to me. Does it mean I'm immediately going to go to my nearest video game store and pre-order it? No, because I'm going to have to see more things that bring me in. And right now, I'm with you. The trailer itself didn't do that for me. It's like I need to see more gameplay footage so I know exactly what I'm going to be doing in the game.
I guess for me, it's like, we had that announcement that they were moving it from 2014 to 2015.
Yeah.
So Division was supposed to come out this year. And I'm still sitting here going, why do I care about the Division?
Yeah.
I need more information. And this, unfortunately, was just a very long CGI trailer.
Yeah. Hopefully that information will come.
I hope so. I mean, the thing is that, Aaron, I run a video game website. I love video games.
Yeah.
You got to give me just a little bit, because this E3, my motto for this E3 is anybody can make a good pre-rendered CGI trailer.
This is true.
You can hire a studio in LA and they will make you a very emotionally powerful CGI trailer. Fine. I need more than that.
I need that intertwined with gameplay.
Right.
Give me gameplay.
Next up, we had The Crew, which Jason saw this last year at E3. Really liked it. And one of their big things with The Crew this year was that they seem to be touting that you can drive from one side of the United States to the other side of the United States, which every time they say that, they should have to say asterisk after that, because there's no way that they have mapped the entirety of the United States highway system into their game.
No.
They obviously have stages that represent...
I dare you to put I-35 in a game.
That's right.
I dare you. Please.
Yeah. They say that you can drive from one side of the map to the other in 2 hours, but it looks like, this is going to be... have you been following this? Have you been following The Crew?
I haven't been following it that much. I wish I would have been following it a little bit more. I'm a fan of arcadey racer type games.
Yeah.
And by that, I don't talk to me about Forza, anybody. But The Crew, this kind of stuff appeals to me. The driving across America doesn't appeal to me as much, but it's going to happen. They're going to give you they even said it. You have a mission where you have to drive from one end to the other,
like an endurance race, right?
And so it's one of those things. You know what? That's cool, but I'm with you. It's 2 hours. Is it 2 hours in real life or 2 hours in game? Because I don't want to spend 2 hours of my gameplay time that I've already allotted in my day, in my real life, to drive across America, because that game's going to get paused.
Right. Right. I don't know. This is another one of those ones where all the stuff that they've shown for it so far, they had some live stuff for it today. I didn't get a chance, but it looks like there's an emphasis in the game on wrecking into other cars and that sort of thing. There's an emphasis in... It seems a lot to me like the multiplayer of the last Need for Speed, not the last one, but the Need for Speed before last.
Okay.
Where you had this very kind of open world where people could just run into each other and do stuff. And I thought that multiplayer was great. So if they're building on that framework... I don't play that many racing games because I suck at driving. But
I have Rivals, and that was one of my day one purchases for the PS4.
Oh, Need for Speed Rivals?
I just love arcadey racers that smash into stuff. The things that if you do in real life, you'll either go to jail for a very long time or you'll die or kill other people.
Right.
I love my racing games to do that. I don't want my cars to end up looking pretty and I want tires blown out. Crazy stuff happening, and I love the customization that they were showing for The Crew, and the fact that you got to go off road, put these tires on it, and do that, and then also it's that whole multiplayer, bringing in your friends, and you can actually make a crew, and that to me, I was just that's awesome, because to me, I have the most fun playing with other people, whether it be new people I meet or people that my friends. Yeah. And we're like, hey man, let's jump on The Crew. Let's go wreck shop. And so it's stuff like that.
It's good that you're here, Aaron, because the rest of us are just I hate people.
No, I'm a people person, so it's one of those things where if I have the time to play a multiplayer game, because usually I only have time to play single player, and then I'll just be like, no, I can't play right now. And so it's if I can jump on multiplayer, I'm on it. And so, but The Crew, that interests me because it seems to be a very multiplayered game, because I don't even think they said anything about a single player.
I haven't heard anything about it yet. Next up, we had Assassin's Creed Unity, and there was 2 parts.
I'm doing a jig.
Yep, he's dancing, folks. Assassin's Creed Unity, we had a CGI trailer, which I don't know if you remember this, Aaron, but had a very very okay. First of all, it's doing this thing that really irritates me with video games, which we've already had, I think, 4 trailers this year at E3 that do this, where they take some music and then they do a cover version of it.
Everybody.
It's usually really slow.
Wants to rule
okay,
the world.
so I'm just gonna tell you, they use "Everybody Wants to Rule the World." Kind of the exact opposite of the MO for the Assassins, who are about freedom and.
But it's the French Revolution.
Oh well,
so maybe that's what they. I want somebody to remake the exact same trailer, with the original song.
That agree.
Would be baller.
I wish that they would use the original songs. I saw another one the other day that was using like a Nirvana song.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, God damn it. God damn it. God damn it.
I think it's just they're trying to reach into people's pop culture.
Oh,
brain.
yeah, obviously.
Obviously. But
so in this in the trailer, the CGI trailer, basically you had the 4 different assassins and they jump into this fort, and it was great.
It was awesome.
Jumping around doing stuff. CGI trailer. What did I just say about CGI trailers? But
with that, here's the difference. The CGI trailer that they showed, you actually do that in the game.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And so, because they actually showed gameplay earlier of it where it's just like,
Yeah. I like at the very end where the dude's getting ready to blow the place up and they're just like, psst, and then they let the people in. Yeah.
That's my other thing. They never showed the assassins killing the target.
Yeah.
In the CGI trailers, it was like, for the people,
right?
We bring you gifts.
And I don't know. This is something that I need to think about more before Assassin's Creed Unity comes out. But there's also this idea that I have where all of what we've seen from Assassin's Creed Unity so far is like, oh, the murderous like mobs in the streets of France. They were all great. They didn't ever do anything shitty apparently because we're just throwing a bunch of nobles at them.
Yeah.
I mean, like.
No, I'm sure there was some ransacking and some raping and some crazy foolishness going on.
At the end of that CGI trailer, it was like head on pike with all the other heads on pikes, right?
There were women's heads.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't see any kids because I'm sure there were some kids there.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping that they use that. I'm hoping that Assassin's Creed 4, I felt like the sort of morality stuff that they played with in that game was a little weak. And so I hope that being in such a politically charged place with this one that they spend some more time, with it. Then they had a gameplay demo where the assassin, he's looking to take care of a guy, and so you have to. It's a multi-part mission where you have to walk and you have to find another guy, sneak into his place, and threaten him to find out where your target is. There were a couple of things in this that really stood out to me.
Okay.
First of all, and I don't know if this is E3 trailer or not, but there was no map. There was UI elements on screen. There was definitely like Radiant Quest UI and menus and stuff like that, but there was no map. And there's no way that they're going to make an Assassin's Creed. I don't know France.
You have to have a map,
right?
You have to have a map, especially in a city like that. For me, I was like, when he was standing on the roof and he jumped and he started like traversing down the side of that church or whatever.
Yeah,
I was like, where are you going?
Yeah.
Like, I understand that, probably a developer was playing it at the moment, so he knew exactly what he was going. And it's like, probably like, you can't go over this way. But it's one of those things where I was just like, yeah, you have to have a map, especially with these games, because they make them so like, they're going more and more into the open world. And so it's like, okay, open world, you need a map. You need a map.
I mean, I'm looking at one of the things from this was the prototype, though. I mean, there's some screenshots out there that have a map. You know what?
Yeah.
I don't want to try to say that it's not going to. It's just it was weird.
Oh, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it was like pre-alpha and stuff like that.
It just seems like if they had the rest of the UI elements there, why did they just have the map there as well? Maybe they were trying to. Maybe there were spoilers on the map. I don't know. Because I know that as he was walking to the various targets, there kept all these Radiant quests kept popping up. It was like, solve a murder. This person's getting jacked.
So many things like within, like, you're on this mission and you can opt out of it. Is like, that was a question I was asking. Like, can you opt out of it and go do this thing really quick, or is that going to take you completely on a different side quest?
I seem to remember some of the UI elements indicating that it's like you could start that and then do it later or whatever. But it was I also seem to remember that there was every time that he walked past one of those, he would make some kind of excuse about why he couldn't stop for doing that. He'd be like, "Oh, the people
can handle this themselves."
You know, and I was just
and there's the one where it was like, this was funny because when it started, it said protect the crowd. Didn't it say protect the crowd? And then he walked completely the opposite way. It's like, where you wait. And then that's when he like went to go start that other mission where he ends up interrogating that guy. But it was like, yeah, he walks by these missions and then it's just like, well, the people can handle this. And then you actually see a guy like hit a dude over the head, and I was just like, okay.
I did really like the part where he just wanders into a random murder scene and tells the lady in there, "Hey, I'll be back. I'll avenge whatever this is." Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sorry that Jimmy died. I'll go see. I'll go ask him questions.
That's right. And then at the very end, I mean, once again, I mean, we talked about this yesterday, I think from the Microsoft briefing, but once again, the crowds in this game are just fucking phenomenal.
So,
like
this technology, man, it's killing me. We're in the. I said it. I said it when Xbox One and PS4 came out. We're in the future.
Yeah.
And if people don't start realizing that, like, and this is where my hate like completely goes away. It's just one of those things. Like, I'm just happy that video games are continuingly to be made, and they just keep surpassing like what we, you know. I started with pole position, freaking like Atari, man. It's like, come on. It's like, I got to get to that city in the back, and now it's like this city. It's amazing, and so it's one of those things where it's though just walking through the crowd, the interaction and stuff. Like, yeah, it's been in previous Assassin's Creed games, but like the magnitude of standing on the church, looking down, seeing the execution and stuff, like it's just like, this is ridiculous. And it's just like, I don't want to go down there. I just want to watch these people, you know.
And so I guess the trailer ended with the assassination of the target.
Yeah.
And then it's like the guy spent a good 10 minutes getting into position so that he could do it right in front of everybody.
I gotta find the right spot because I need everybody
as
to
opposed
see this.
to, I mean, I saw earlier on when they were talking about his stuff, like, dude's got a gun, shoot him from up there.
Assassinate him.
Or throw a knife or a crossbow or any of the things.
You don't have to get up close and personal.
Right. I know it's cool.
Yeah.
But then it was good because the other guys came up behind. I'm still curious. I still want to know if you don't have other people playing with you, if those are computer controlled.
Computer controlled. Or, I don't know. They might go, because the way I'm seeing it is like how Ubisoft is like, they did it with Watch Dogs. You know, you like the multiplayer is like, you know, almost like drop in, drop out, and stuff like that. And so I'm wondering if it's like, you know, it's like a party invite, or your friends are like, "Hey man, you playing?" Yep.
Or I mean, you know, we saw that in Dead Space and Dead Rising and a few other games where like you just set your game to be like, my friends can just come in here whenever they want to.
Right.
So I'm just gonna be playing and then just like, boop, there you go.
To me, that'd be cool. Unless like you got one friend who's like always stealing your kills, and then you got a problem.
Unless you're trying to
kill your friend.
You're trying to be really sneaky and not kill anybody in Assassin's Creed, and then Jason Murphy joins your game and is like,
go straight Leroy Jenkins.
No, bitch. Okay. Next up, one of the most worthless things of all of E3 so far. Stupid. We're going to spend about 5 minutes just calling it stupid and then move on. Shape Up for the Xbox One, which is a fitness game.
I understand people need to make money. I understand people need to get in shape, but I honestly do not think this was E3 worthy. It was a waste of time.
Dude was playing Dance Dance Revolution on a giant piano keys a la Big against himself.
Yeah.
And then did a push-up competition with a Frenchman that they just spent. Goddamn, they spent so much time. This is America versus France. Who's going to win?
Battle of the Nations.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Here, I'll give it to you, France. You win.
You win. Thank you.
Keep making Assassin's Creed and get the fuck out of here.
Yes. You win.
Or put a calorie meter in Just Dance 2015.
I'm sure there is one. They just didn't want to talk about it. But yeah, I'm sorry. Like,
I just
Shape Up games like this. I'm like, and let the hate come. Send that over to the Wii U. Send it over to the Wii U. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's me.
I mean, I guess there's a market for that stuff.
There is. That's why they have like all those fitness games and stuff. But for me, E3 needs to be like it's the mecca.
They could have spent that time showing us another gameplay vertical slice for the Division.
Correct.
Instead of that.
Correct.
Instead of all the bullshit around that, they
could have been like the Division's portion. The Division's portion could have been exactly like Assassin's Creed, where they show you a CGI trailer,
right,
and then gameplay.
Yeah.
Well, it could have been the exact same way, but no, they decided. I guess they were like, we need to break up this little murderous spree that we're on and throw in some shape up and have some out of shape guys do some push-ups and people laugh at them.
Yep.
Not with them.
Yep.
At them.
Yep.
And I was sitting there being like, I can do more push-ups than y'all. And it's like 10 more. I'm like, stop. Just stop.
Go program video games.
Yes.
That's what you do.
Go work out on your own time.
That's right.
Go work. Have shape up in the break room.
Yeah.
Okay. Then go make something else.
Oh. And then not finally, but from there we saw a trailer for Valiant Hearts: The Great War, another UbiArt framework, another sad trailer.
Sad. They just kind of tear jerkers up in here.
Yeah. 2D side-scrolling World War I, looks like a kind of, can't tell if it's adventure, action, or whatever type of game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a dog. That was real sad too.
Sitting on a grave. That's the image that's burned in my head. It's like just the dog sitting on a grave.
If your stone heart needs some liquid refreshment, go watch the trailer for this. Because
if your girlfriend says you don't love her, play this game in front of her.
Yes.
I have a heart.
The only thing that's really said to me was that it looks like UbiArt is going to be a thing now, because we had Rayman and then we had Child of Light, and now this is the third one, so that they're going to keep. As long as those keep selling, they'll keep putting them out.
Yeah, and once again, they didn't really tell you kind of how the game is going to be played. They just showed montages and clips of story and other stuff. And so, when I first saw Child of Light, I didn't know exactly how it was going to be played.
Me neither.
I turned out loving it because it's turn-based RPG. I was like, so I don't know if this one's going to be you're running through with the dog and this soldier. And then
it's gonna be like Metal Slug.
Yeah,
obviously.
Man, sold.
Heavy machine gun.
Sold. Dog gets some crazy cannon coming out of its vest, and it's just shooting rockets out of it. I'm good. Valiant Hearts, let's go. The Great War.
It was really great, you guys.
Yeah.
All right, and then finally we got to the end, and before we do our own reveal, I was sitting there. I was like, "What's it gonna be?" You guys got one more. It's gonna be something big. I was like, "Is it Splinter Cell?" Because we haven't seen Splinter Cell.
It's true. Well, the last one was what, Blacklist?
Yes,
and that didn't do too well, did it?
I think it did all right.
Right, because then I know from Blacklist, I know in the movie world, people were like, "Hey, Tom Hardy's going to play Sam Fisher," and nobody's heard anything about that movie.
Yeah, well, they've been trying to do that shit for a while.
But there were talks of what might be what Ubisoft closed on, and I didn't believe them.
Yeah.
I didn't believe them. I truly didn't think. I thought I didn't know what it was going to be. I truly was just sitting back and waiting because I truly didn't know what it was going to be.
I thought it would be Splinter Cell, or that it would be another, because 2 years ago Watch Dogs was their closer.
True.
And last year Division was their closer. That was going to be another third-person something, brand new reveal, where they're going to bring a guy on to talk cryptically for 10 minutes about, in the year 25.
This is your world.
Right. Then all the cheese went away, and it's blah, 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 blah.
Take out your cell phone. Smash it.
That's right.
In a world with no cell phones. It's like, wait, what's going on?
But no.
There's
a new Rainbow Six game.
Rainbow Six.
5-on-5, cops versus... This is the second cops versus bad guys.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think the last Rainbow Six game I played was Vegas.
I need to go. I've been meaning to do this since yesterday. So while you talk, I'm going to look up what the last Rainbow Six game was, because I think it was.
But yeah, it's I used to play it on the 360. I never owned one, but I had friends that owned one, and I'd watch them play it, and then I was like, hey, this is something I could get into. Mm-hmm. And I played it, and I sucked at it.
Yeah,
but it was one of those things where I enjoyed it, and so yeah, back in
2008, Vegas 2 was the last time we had one.
Gosh. And so, but it was one of those things where I was like, as soon as it came up, it was like as soon as they showed the house and like the little drone, I was just like, it's Rainbow Six, baby.
Yeah.
It's Rainbow Six. And then like it's sieging. You're breaching everywhere, and I love breaching.
Yeah.
It's just it's the best mechanic they ever put in a video
so
game.
Excited about
I
breaching.
am. I love it. I just love things that I love them being able to use technology to, I think, what did the guy say? It's like practically just about the destructible environment.
Yeah.
It's like you're in a house.
Right.
You have this high-powered gun. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's going to blow through that sheetrock.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, it will. And then the fact that like they detailed it enough to where it's like, that's a shotgun blast. That's an AR-15 bullet. You know, it's like, oh man. And the fact that you can kill somebody on the other side, I lose my shit for games like this because it's games like this and action games and like, you know, fighting games. These are the games I'm all about because these are the ones you bring your friends together and you're like, hey, let's form a team.
Yeah.
And let's just see what happens. And what they showed was something that I was like, this is awesome. It's a team that actually was acting like a team. Mm-hmm. And you could see that the whoever the robbers were, I want to see the video on the opposite
of their side. Yeah, me too.
To see what they were saying because they were like, "Fuck, it's Havoc.
Yeah,
we got to get that guy." I was like, "Who's Havoc?"
Yeah,
obviously the map before this, he just bitched all of you and teabagged you.
That's right. No, I mean, the description basically it was interesting because it started and they had this whole kind of Rainbow Six style planning setup, right?
Yeah.
Where they got to decide which area were they going to breach at, and they picked the roof, and so they all got set up to bust through the windows on the roof. They came in. It did seem, I will say right now, it seemed like a little bit of overkill for the one lady that was in that house because they fucked that house right the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like that house, I wouldn't be surprised if
the city's
at the very
not going to
end,
pay for that.
Yeah.
The city's not going to pay
The whole
for that.
place just collapsed and the last two of them were standing off and killed them both. So they break in and they get the hostage. I did like the fact that they juggled with the hostage.
Yeah.
The cops' side got the hostage right away, and then the hostage got taken back by the terrorists, and they had to kind of move back and forth. Now, whether or not that's going to end up, a lot of times you can make that stuff happen in your demo, whether that'll actually be what happens. Also, I don't think that we know yet if there's going to be any kind of single player. If it's just going to be multiplayer. We saw 5-on-5 there, and if that's going to be it seems like if you're going to do 5-on-5 the way they've got this set up, you're going to have areas about as big as that house and not much bigger.
Well, I think it was bigger because one of the terrorists or robbers, whatever he was jumping outside of the house.
Oh yeah,
he was running around the house, and then I know the breachers or whoever, the cops, whatever you want to call them, they had a sniper on a whole nother roof.
Oh yeah, that's
and
true.
So
I forgot about that.
That was something that I hope gets fleshed out in like snippets to come. What they're going to show us is just that it was one of those things where I was like, okay, I truthfully, on a personal level, I just didn't like the guy we were following.
Right.
The POV. I was just like, he's trying to be the leader, but it's you said it earlier, Jeff, before we even started recording. It was just like, you know, it's like, we always follow you.
Right.
Oh, it's like, really, it's like the guy kind of sounded like a prick. And so I was just like, you know what? Don't follow that guy. Yeah. And he's like hollering at his teammates, take the guy out. Dude, she's like, I can't see him, son of a.
Well, did you at the end? Okay, so towards I'm going to go back to one of the really cool things that happened there, but towards the end, like you talk about that guy. I don't know if you were like me where you were watching this happen, but at the very end, there was like one criminal and there were two of the guys left, and the main guy had the hostage.
Yep.
And there's this guy with a giant fucking shield.
Riot shield.
And he said like 12 times, I got this, get out. And the guy would not get out.
I got him. And he couldn't shoot. He's like, they even had the little gangster wrist twist.
Right.
And he was like, da, 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 da. He did not. I know for a fact. I know the game ends with like a, what happened? He got shot in his face.
Right.
And their entire team lost. And then everybody cussed him out.
Right.
Because he did not listen.
Yeah.
He got the hostage shot.
Yep.
So if you go into reality in like the real world, that's a fuck up.
Yeah.
And so he didn't listen to his teammates. But yeah, it was just one of those things where they blew out the front door.
Yeah.
And he said, go.
Right.
And he goes up the stairs like a stupid girl in a horror movie.
Which makes for another really, I mean, this is one of the things where you get into, you folks is terrible nitpicky minutia. But like, they breached the second floor and got the hostage. If you could exfil the hostage from the second floor, why didn't they do that instead of trying to go through all of the enemies out the front fucking door?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's probably parts I don't know here,
as a gamer, yeah, I'm sure all of you out there in the interweb world did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't, you're not a gamer.
Well,
I will proudly say that.
You look at this, it's
like you got her, take her out the way you just came in. It's like it's right behind you.
We were watching that video and I was like, it's a one-story house, or it's a two-story house. You can throw somebody out the second story of a house and they're going to be okay. Like you guys have ropes and shit too.
Exactly.
But you could actually have just taken that hostage and just thrown her out the window and been like, there's a good...
When you hit the ground, try to roll.
80% chance that you're going to be fine, lady. Here, put this helmet on, tuck and roll, boom, go.
It's better than being shot. Right. Oh, wait.
And then your entire team wouldn't be dead. Hey, check that out.
Look at that.
But I don't know. This looks cool, and I'm glad there's new Rainbow Six.
I love it.
It's a franchise been going for too long.
As soon as they announce that you can pre-order it, I will.
Yeah.
I will.
All right. Well, I tell you what, you and I go into a little bit more detail than Jason and I do. So we're going to take a little bit of a break. But when we come back, we're going to do the Sony press conference. So stick around, and we'll be right back.
Time to split. Freaking awesome! Let's go. Dude, chill. I got this.
All right, enough of this Frenchness. We're moving on to the Sony conference. Aaron, are you excited?
I get goosebumps.
Are you excited?
I am so
What do you think?
excited.
No Jack Trenton this year,
But that's the thing. He was there.
Yeah.
I watched everything through the GT broadcast and everything like that, and he was there. He said, it's nostalgic and a little, eye-watering, but at the same time, he's still getting them checks.
Right.
And the fact that he was there, I love the fact that they were just like, so, Jack, what do you think of Microsoft? Oh, Jack, what do you think? And he's just like, they didn't get a job. And then they're like, what do you think about PlayStation? He was just like, I'm biased.
Yeah.
And that was his answer. I'm biased.
So let's see. Sony kicked it off with Destiny, which I know there had been, I can't keep up with everything with what I do these days, but I know there had been some story stuff with Destiny, but what they showed really outlined the story. And the orb and that stuff.
Who you are.
It
was called the Traveler. The orb was called the Traveler or something like that.
Yeah. The big orb that came was the Traveler. Kickstarted a whole bunch of human stuff, but the darkness follows the Traveler around.
It reminded me of the Fifth Element. Not going to lie.
Now that you say that, it totally reminds me of the Fifth Element. Yep. And then Peter Dinklage bot, Tyrion Lannister bot came out to say, you're the chosen one. I'm like, of course I'm the chosen one. It's a video game. Of course.
Who else would I be?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I'm the guy before the chosen one.
Right. Apparently.
Okay, get it. They need to make that character.
What, the cannon fodder game?
The cannon fodder
where you
game.
have to follow. Actually be a really good idea for a game is if you had a game where you had to follow the protagonist around and like an Inspector Gadget style where the protagonist is dumb.
You're Penny.
Yeah.
You're Penny.
Yeah, exactly. You're Penny in the brain.
Yes.
So not the brain.
Brain.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of exposition. I don't think they didn't have any actual gameplay, right? That was just a trailer.
They had in-game, but there was no actual here's what they released
10
before.
minutes.
It's not what they prior released to, which is funny because that was 7 to 10 minutes of actual gameplay.
Yeah.
But you would think they would put that in E3, but I guess E3 was where they were like, we're going to unfold the story more. So like they had that conversation behind closed doors. It's like we already showed them the gameplay. Let's show them like the story.
Yeah,
because I'm sure I was wondering about it. It was just like all you're showing is like people running around, shooting, doing crazy cool powers, jumping in these different online matches.
Yeah,
and now you see the story, which still incorporated some of them into there, and you finally have an understanding. Oh, the darkness is who I'm fighting.
Right.
Which
right.
Is, oh, yeah. Okay.
No, it was cool. I mean, I think that at this point, I mean, they've been so upfront with Destiny with showing stuff for it that you are either aware of and hyped up for Destiny or you don't care about it, and I don't think anything's really going to change that. I mean, I can say, as a person who really likes story in my video games, I appreciated seeing more of the story. From there, there was announced that there's going to be a white PlayStation 4.
Oh, that cocaine
with Destiny bundle, and I'm just like, okay, Aaron, do you care what color your console is? At all?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I get upset.
I would prefer either one or the other.
Well, here's my thing is I get upset when they release these things after the console has already been released.
Oh, right.
You know you're going to make a different color system.
Yeah.
Give us options at the beginning. Don't get me wrong. I love the all black. It looks nice and sleek. Keep it clean.
Right.
But my PS3 is red. I got the God of War Ascension red PS3. My favorite color is red.
Okay.
Not saying that I want a red PS4.
Right.
But to me, it's just like, is someone who already owns a PS4 going to go out of their way to pre-order this PS4? The answer is yes.
Probably.
Because there are people in this world
that
that'll do that. Collectors, that's what I call them. But but it was one of those.
It's if you already have a PlayStation 4 and then you go in and get the white PlayStation 4, you're a crazy person.
Yes, you are a crazy
If you don't
person.
have one, and you go
better
to the store,
give that other one away.
Right. If you go to the store and you go, okay, well, there's two of them here. I think the white one looks better. I'm going to get that one. Boom.
Yeah, but in the end, this was my reaction when it came up. Ooh,
yeah,
that was it.
All right. At the very least, at least this time they didn't have a crazy racist ad to say that there was a white PS4. PSP thing. I still to this day I'm just like, who thought this was a good idea? You guys are so weird.
It's like, why are you guys doing this?
Why are you doing this?
I hope no one catches on.
Okay. From there, we saw the Order 1886.
Dear Lord.
Which I liked. Okay, so here's a weird thing: is that there was actually what was it, like IGN or Joystick or somebody got like some actual gameplay of the Order where it was you shooting at a bunch of people. They showed like this
in the alleyway, and
right?
stuff.
Yeah, they showed like this napalm gun and stuff. And this was very different because it was just a guy walking around in like an asylum or something with a lantern.
Yeah,
but he still had like his police radio to talk to.
Yeah,
like,
which
okay,
because it's what they say it's neo-Victorian,
something like that,
because they're not using steampunk,
right?
They're not saying steampunk, they're saying neo-Victorian. So I'm thinking
steampunk.
I'm thinking this is what I said. I go, oh, it's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Okay.
It's like that. It's like the Nemo guy in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen who like had like the ship and all the guns. So I go, I get it. It's just a fancy way of saying steampunk.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, when it came up, this is another game I'm looking forward to. Third person shooter, different story, new IP.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it deals with monsters, man.
I love
vampires, zombies, werewolves, all of the above, and they're there.
Yeah. I mean, like in the demo, he comes across this dude who's chomping on another dude, and I was like, "Oh, zombies!" And then that guy like looks up and turns into one of the biggest fucking werewolves I've ever seen.
Yes,
and just starts tearing. I mean, actually, it was funny how this was pretty much a CGI trailer because there were only
because there were like cutscenes and if that is part of the game. There's more to come. I don't think that will be part of the game. I think it was just something. I
bet it was. I mean, they had the whole. It brought up the reticle so you could shoot.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those boxed in portions of the game where you know you're going to lose.
Well, yeah,
or
it's
not
like
lose but get cornered.
It's like when Nathan Drake is running down the street when the bus is coming after him, right? You know, it's like that.
Yeah.
But what I did like, and this is just my own predilection, I had a conversation with somebody today in the chat about horror games, right? As I like the fact that he was shooting the fuck out of that werewolf and it didn't seem to do anything.
Until the only time the werewolf actually flinched, or I can't even say flinch, reacted, was when the machine gun hit him in the shoulder twice.
Right.
But he still was moving forward. I was like, you're fucked.
I also like the fact that he was talking.
Yes.
That this was not just like that it was just like,
I smell you.
Yeah. This is a legitimately like terrifying monster. And I like it. I like the fact that if this is the power level that some of the monsters are at the game, I like that.
Yeah.
Because I think that you need something, if you give somebody a Dead Space machine gun and they're able to kill all the monsters, it's not really very scary.
It's pointless.
Right.
He's going to go through everybody.
Whereas if you've got some kind of crazy-ass monster that's going to take a while to beat, well, that's a little bit more scary.
My big question, which I'm sure will be answered later, what did he drink?
Oh, because he gets injured and he pulls out like a little vial and drinks it, and it seems to be kind of healing him a little bit.
I don't know. He got scratched by a werewolf, man. You know what that means.
Yeah. Well, have you seen that this is, for those of you who haven't seen the preview, that these are King Arthur's knights, essentially?
Yes.
So, yeah.
I don't know. Baby.
I think that this game looks very cool, very original IP.
I'm ready
something
for it.
I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at the new Homefront, it looks like, it looks all right, but like it's still just a shooter,
First-person shooter, gonna have multiplayer.
Yeah. I think
been there, done that. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I think this looks really, really cool. Especially if they're able to stick with the transition between cutscene and gameplay and back to cutscene.
It'll keep it real interesting, and most importantly, keep the player engaged.
Yeah.
Because you're all about the story in your game. I think that's like the number one way to keep people who are, or gamers who want story in their game, keep them engaged to where they're just like, you get so caught up in it there, you're like, oh shit, I can pick up my gun now.
Right.
It's one of those things where I was sitting there like, shoot him. Yeah. Oh, it's a cutscene, shoot him. Then once that reticle came up, I was like, get him. It's not hurting him.
Yeah. Shooting him does nothing.
It does nothing.
The bullets do nothing.
Shoot yourself. Shoot yourself.
All right, so from there we moved on to it was kind of weird. This game called Entwined that was a bunch of students and kind of a first-time studio. It looks like a bird and a fish are having an affair.
Yeah, the bird and the fish come together at the end of the journey and make a dragon. I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah, I don't think that's what happens when birds.
The birds and the bees.
Well, I don't know.
Like
birds and fish don't get along very well. So
it's true.
Maybe
in Chinese mythology they do.
Okay,
but I don't think this is. It might. I don't know.
But see,
I don't know.
It looked like at the end of the day, what it was it looked like. You have two characters on screen, and you're controlling one with each stick, and they're picking up stuff. And they're kind of running through this tunnel, and you gotta. It's kind of like Brothers, I guess.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing that I was thinking.
Where they're just trying to hurt your brain by making you control two things at the same time.
Yeah, because they had one guy controlling both characters.
Yeah,
and then they had two people controlling one of each characters on stage, and so like they had two completely things going. The one player, I don't know what was going on in his screen. It was really bright and colorful. I didn't look at it that much, but I was looking at the two-player, the guy and the girl controlling the fish and the bird separately. And it looks interesting. To me, I call these like the filler games.
Yeah.
Which like, you jump on them because you got some time to kill, and it's not that it's a horrible game. It's interesting. It's appealing.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those things where and we said this before, I appreciated that Sony gave them the time.
Yeah. Well, especially because as soon as they were done, this was one of those like, and it's available right now.
Right now.
Buy it.
Yeah.
In fact, they even stood up on an E3 stage and pimped out the price point. $9.99. It's just like, ooh, okay. I don't know. I haven't played it because I got other shit that I'm doing right now.
Right.
And to be quite honest, it doesn't look. I mean, like it's got a lot of aesthetic to it. It's got a very lovely art style. It's got seemingly really good music, right?
Yeah.
But I look at that gameplay and go, I'm not really very interested in that.
It's nothing. It's because it doesn't change.
Yeah,
it doesn't change. Nothing.
Well, or
different.
maybe it does, but they just didn't show. They were banking so hard on look how pretty that I didn't see anything that really
look
made
how
me...
pretty, and also you can get this now,
right?
And
right.
So I'm sure, and like I like how the guy even was just like, yeah, so hop on your PlayStation app on your phone,
yeah. God,
and it'll be waiting for you when you get home. I was like, dude,
I need to take a shower. I need to take a shower, man. Come on, that's gross. Stop it. From there, we had there's going to be some standalone content, standalone DLC for Infamous Second Son.
Yes,
called First Light. Now, it's been a while since I played Second Son, and parts of it obviously didn't resonate with me because I couldn't remember. Is this the woman from
Fetch?
Okay, from Second Son. I couldn't remember.
I call it the laser assassin,
right?
Because she was killing people left and right.
She had a very interesting backstory.
Yes,
and, so
this is what we get to play.
Yeah, standalone prequel to Second Son. The only thing that concerns me is that if she doesn't have the ability to pick up, if her powers aren't more sophisticated than the set of powers that she gives you in Infamous Second Son, then it better be some pretty short DLC, because if it's 2 hours and you only have that one power set, that's fine.
Right.
If it's 6 hours and they don't evolve that power set more than what we saw in Second Son, that could get old.
Well, it's just, for me, what I saw when you're Delsin and you just get the power from her, it's her running across the buildings was completely different than your running across the building.
Right.
And so I'm thinking with this, because you don't get to actually jump into her power set,
right?
They actually kind of have like an open book of what they could do.
Yeah,
because what's going to happen? You're going to play as her, and you're going to be like, "Why didn't I have that power?"
right. Well, it makes a lot of sense. It's just I kind of wonder how long. Because I liked Second Son, but it was you play it and then you were done with it, and then I was kind of just done with it.
Yeah,
so,
it's like you play good, then you play bad.
I would have rather
have
seen
else you can do.
What, Carnival of Blood 2 or whatever.
Man, if they brought Carnival of Blood to Seattle,
interested. But
what I'm afraid of, this is what I'm afraid of. If they attach Fetch, with DLC, are they going to do the same thing with the little nerdy
with the other dude? Yeah,
I hope not, because I truly I did not like that character. And so if they do, I'm not gonna. I'll still buy it. I'll still play it.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's just one of those things where it's like I'm not looking forward to it.
Sure, I understand. All right, next up, everybody saw this coming, and I don't know how you feel, Aaron, but I don't care about LittleBigPlanet anymore. So LittleBigPlanet 3. They've got the 3 new characters. One
a bird
is a bird. Yep. We got a big fat guy that turns into a little guy.
I call him Biggie Small.
Yep. And we've got a dog.
A dog
that can wall jump.
Which, I'm sorry, not to mean to call you out, and I'm sure every gamer did. That lady who was controlling the dog was terrible.
Oh, she was very terrible.
She was like, "Oh, I can wall jump." And I'm like, "You're on stage. You are a developer. You play your shit."
They had to vamp when they couldn't wall jump.
Yeah.
But I mean, this looks exactly like LittleBigPlanet, except with
it's just a bigger scale.
Well,
that's all it is.
They've just created puzzles that take multiple characters to complete.
Right.
And I'm sure that if you're playing in single player, that you'll just be able to bop between the different characters,
of course,
to solve the puzzles as needed.
I'm with you. It's not going to be something that. Like, I saw it and I was just like, "Yay! They're bringing LittleBigPlanet to the new generation."
Right,
awesome.
It's kind of like The Sims 4 to me, right?
Yes.
There are people who enjoy LittleBigPlanet, and I wish you all the best with that. I could kind of care less about LittleBigPlanet.
I'll wait for your YouTubes to see what level you created.
Right.
There you go.
Honestly, though, I think that this time around, LittleBigPlanet, they've got competition with Project Spark, and
yes,
I'm more interested in Project Spark than I am in LittleBigPlanet at this point.
Project Spark looks to me like it looks like they're creating game developers.
Right. Yeah.
Where LittleBigPlanet is, we're just having fun.
Right.
But yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, awesome. You're bringing a staple of the PlayStation name back to PlayStation. thumbs up.
Yeah.
That's all I can give it.
Yeah. That's about it. From there, I talked about it, and I had friends telling me there's no way that's going to happen. But boom! Oh my God!
Shots, explosions.
Bloodborne, which is Project. Well, so what was it? Project Beast.
Project Beast.
The new game from the developer of original Demon Souls and Dark Souls, Mr. Miyazaki, is on the PlayStation. It's a PlayStation exclusive game. It has a trailer that, so Aaron, I don't know how you feel about Dark Souls and Demon Souls, right?
I love them.
Okay. Have you played them?
I have played them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I have not beat them. I gave up, but
Yes.
I have played them.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If you go back and you look at the trailer for Dark Souls,
Okay.
right? The trailer for the original Dark Souls had a lot of really nutty imagery in it, right?
It's true.
The Gravelord Nito and the giant bird and like all this stuff where you're just like, whoa, what is all this? This is crazy looking, right? The trailer for Dark Souls 2 that they put out, and this is kind of a thing with Dark Souls 2, had a lot of imagery in it where when I looked at those two trailers back to back, I was like, the imagery in Dark Souls 2 is very medieval fantasy,
Right.
but it doesn't have that dark edge to it that the Dark Souls trailer had. And I think that was borne out in the game by the fact that it was a lighter game that had more humanoid enemies and less insanity. This trailer was bananas. Like, starts out.
I actually got I got creeped out.
Yeah.
I really did get creeped out.
It was really cool. It was like, so there was like this baby carriage in the middle of the street full of shit.
And then a dude on a wheelchair who looked at you.
Stop looking at me, old man.
It was like, ugh.
And then we had
The
a
Village
guy
of
with
the
his
Crazies.
transforming sword dragging a dog corpse out.
I don't know what that was about.
The dog, I'm going to tell you right now, the dogs in that game look exactly like the dogs from Dark Souls. And this is not a Souls game, apparently.
No.
Because it's not called that. But we followed kind of this protagonist around who, from the way that they didn't show very much about them, I'm really hoping this is create your own protagonist because that's what it looked like, right? No specifics.
It would be sweet.
At the very end, they had a part where he went into a room and there was candles. There was a giant monster
I did not like that. I did not like that scene whatsoever, man.
The whole thing to me was just out-darking Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Like, darker than Dark Souls.
It's like, how can I make the most creep-tastic, dark, literally, visually dark?
Yeah. It was like Dark Souls was, man, I don't know. His giant transforming blade, shotgun, or shooting a dude in the face at the end there.
Oh, man.
Oh, looks so good, I can't wait.
I'll say this. What part was it? Dang it, I just lost it. But there was the trailer itself set up the world.
It gave a very clear impression of what we're looking at.
Yeah, and what to expect, which is, as you said, complete and utter insanity.
I'll tell you how I would describe it. My elevator pitch for it is it looks like Resident Evil 4 in Victorian England through the lens of Dark Souls. Like,
Perfect.
You got crazy dudes around, and it's got it's not medieval. It's got definitely some guns and stuff going on in there. Can't wait. Just can't wait.
Yep.
Just can't wait. I want to play it right now.
Jeff is ready.
Chop my arm right off and play it with one hand. I don't give a fuck. From there, we got to once again this year, why the fuck, Ubisoft, are you letting Sony show off the best parts of your game?
Because Sony's better.
Far Cry 4, we got to see some gameplay footage from Far Cry 4. And what did it start with? Just walking around.
You had to get to...
You're trying to stop a convoy.
You had to stop a convoy, and so they just show you traverse through foliage.
Right. And you pick up a grappling hook and a wingsuit.
Well, before the grappling hook and wingsuit, you pull out a freaking like automatic crossbow or something.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm.
And then you put C4 on a freaking...
That was well. I'm talking about they just pick that up and they go up in there, right? And they're sneaking in. There's a stealth kill, and I like the way that the guys they're like, "Stop this convoy," and he's like, "I'm gonna sneak in here," and he's like, "Ooh, that barrel will blow up." Think, fuck it, yep.
It's like, okay. that's not sneaking, but all right, they know you're here now. And then, the freaking flight suit.
Well, so from there, we'll go in order. From there, the convoy drove off.
Yes.
And so a dude got in like one of those little weird motocab things.
I was jamming to the music. I was like, I would just roll through the whole game in one of those things.
Drives down the road, catches up with the convoy, jumps from his car to that car, kills the dudes in that.
Gosh.
Then there was a rock slide, I believe.
And he drove off the road.
Right, which didn't stop him because then he just jumped out, popped a wingsuit, got that mission, flew forever.
I will say this.
Like,
I have a fear of heights.
Yeah.
When a game can incite that fear in me,
it
is doing a damn good job. What's funny is Far Cry 3 didn't do that with the hang glider.
Oh, okay.
This did it with the wingsuit.
Well, wasn't there a wingsuit in Far Cry 3, but just never really a good time to use it?
Right, because you never had enough of a drop
this
or
verticality. And so being in the Himalayas, like I really like the idea.
The freaking mountains.
It was so pretty. It was so awesome.
You know these dudes did their research because it was just like I was just like I literally was like I can't watch this until he gets closer to ground. And then when he finally got to like those when he flew through, he like looked off to the right to see like of course they showed off the graphics and everything.
Yeah.
But then when he got to like the rice field, the actual location he was getting to,
which can I just say, he goes to this rice field, he pops his parachute, he lands right next to some people, and they were just like, all right.
Okay, that's cool.
Rice ain't going to pick itself, guys.
we can't talk to you because we'll die. And then what happens? Call in a buddy.
Yep. Call in the gyrocopter dude from fucking Mad Max.
Yes.
And you get in his gyrocopter, and they fly into this base.
What did he pull out? He pulled out like what kind of machine gun was that? It was like an old-timey...
Oh, the main character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I know the gyrocopter guy had like a grenade launcher.
Yeah, it was like a handheld grenade launcher.
And
they just fucked a base up.
They released the elephants.
Mm-hmm. Elephants killing people.
I think that was like the best thing to incorporate of bringing back like the animal interactiveness.
Yeah.
And the fact that the reason why the elephants just ransacked that whole place is because elephants don't forget. So that just means these people were fucking with these elephants, and these elephants were like, oh, we're free now. All of you are dead. Like, that guy didn't have to shoot anything anymore. Yep. He was just literally running around watching the elephants just lay waste to this thing.
Hit like a Jeep or something.
Jeep.
Just
the
like
Jeep was driving,
yeah.
and the elephant blindsides the Jeep and T-bones it and blows it up. And then it gives it like a little cheer.
And you know what? My favorite part of that was that the elephant did that and the Jeep blew up. And I was like, oh, no, the elephant.
Oh no, the elephant's fine.
Oh. The elephant took an explosion to the face like a champ, man.
The elephant said, you can't fuck with me.
That's right.
I hope you ride that elephant after that mission. But it incorporated the taking over the fortresses and like the camps again.
Checkpoint thing, yeah.
It was bigger.
Mm-hmm.
It was way bigger than the little camp that was in Far Cry 3. Nothing against Far Cry 3 because that game, to me, I freaking love that game. But
I mean, just like dropping in your pal for multiplayer and
hey man, help me out in this mission because once again, I'm sure it's probably just gonna be a computer if you're playing single player.
I bet it won't even be there. I bet it'll just be an option.
That would be crazy.
Because I noticed that some of the UI on screen with the R3 takedown on the truck and stuff like that like a lot of that's out of Far Cry. So I'm sure you'll be able to play the entire thing by yourself.
Right.
But once again, like we were talking about before, just the idea that you could be like, "Hey, get in here."
Yeah,
get in here.
I need your help.
Yeah, these are a pain in the ass by yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a hell of a vertical slice.
Oh my gosh.
Made me more excited. The thing is that they announced Far Cry 4, they showed the dude from Far Cry 4, and then there was very little information about Far Cry 4, and then to yesterday, so much information about Far Cry 4.
Here you go.
And I'm like, I now can't wait.
Yeah. I can't wait to see like what the impressions are from like the floor of the actual like gameplay because I think they're going to have it on the floor where you can play at least
I would assume so.
Something.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what people are saying about it and they're probably going to be like, oh my God. It's like the same way we are.
Yeah. I'd even be willing to say that at this point, I'm willing to put my Blood Dragon 2 lust aside for a little bit, and I would really like to play Far Cry 4.
Oh, man.
As long as they don't have the douchey protagonist, because I don't want to be a frat guy. And
oh, my God.
Other than that, you do all the rest.
I gotta kill him. Wait, I gotta sleep with this girl first.
Right.
Now I gotta go kill him.
I gotta get voodoo tattoos that make me shoot better.
Get out of here, man. Get out.
All right. From there, there was another part at the end of that where they said that if you have Far Cry 4 and your friend wants to jump into your game, they don't even need Far Cry 4. That's incredible.
It's the future. Like I said, it is the future.
As long as it isn't like I'm saying, like, Aaron, come play my game. I don't have it. It doesn't matter. Just come in here. It's like, all right, go into Jeff's game. I'll be there in 3.5 hours when this gets done downloading, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how that's going to work.
We'll see what happens. But yeah,
that's really cool.
Bridging the gap, man.
Yeah.
Bridging the gap.
And that's
going to make people buy the game.
It's really a smart way
buy the game.
To get people into it. That's you know what? That one feature, if it becomes prevalent on either PlayStation, Xbox, PC, or all of them, or whatever, if a PS4 has that is a really interesting incentive, now that I think about it, to digital games, because the thing is that I think that we can all agree that we missed the days when we were able to play a demo before we played the game.
Yes.
Suddenly, if I've got the game and you're like, hey, I want to try that Far Cry game out, can I give it a shot? Yeah, come on in. We'll blow up some bases. You can see what it's like and then go buy it. Is that it's kind of a time-limited demo that just... Wow, man, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. I didn't even think of that.
It's the future, man.
All right. Next up, there was a really, really clever trailer, which I thought was going to be for what's dead? What's that? Dying Light or
Dying Light? Yeah,
was that the one?
Free running zombie.
Yeah,
Dying Light. It's Dying Light. Yeah,
but it was in L.A. This dude running down the street,
Venice Beach.
Zombie.
I've been there.
Apocalypse is happening behind him. He doesn't seem real aware of it. And
he didn't care. Like, he was a douche.
Yeah.
He was a straight up douche.
Like, hey, what's going on? And then at a certain point that he turns into a zombie and all those other people show up and they're all running behind him. And then a car runs him over.
And steals his sneakers.
And I think Jack Black steals his sneakers.
I think.
Sounds a lot like Jack Black. Dead Island 2.
I'm excited.
Which seems really weird to me because L.A. is not an island. I mean, metaphorically maybe, but I don't know if they want to split hairs there.
Yeah.
I do like the idea that it won't be on, that it'll be, I like the idea of the sort of gameplay that we have in Dead Island in Los Angeles, California.
It makes perfect sense to me.
There's so many wonderful stories to be had. But yeah, it was a good trailer.
It was cool because, like, I don't know if those who saw the trailer, if you didn't catch it, the guy was already bit.
Yeah,
he was.
At the very beginning.
Yeah, and he covered it up, and he just started running because obviously, douches don't care,
right?
And so, yeah, it was another one of those, and it was a breakaway from the sadness.
Yes, it was funny.
It was a CGI crazy funny trailer that I think needed to happen, and because if you compare that trailer to the original Dead Island trailer, oh my gosh,
yep, the original Dead Island trailer
completely like yin and yang.
Yeah,
talk about it. And so this, I like to see where they're gonna go with it because, like you said, you're no longer on an island. And, it's.
I wonder if they're gonna have the same characters back. I mean, I would assume if you Jack Black in there,
I'm sure they'll have one or two
because
they have to have a throwback to.
I like who's the Who Do You Voodoo bitch guy?
Sam B.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Sam B.
I want him in my
man,
game.
Walking around with his 2x4. Sam B. Hold on, that ain't right.
I love Dead Island. It's such a silly game.
Shout out to Phil Lamar. What's up?
Let's see. There was some Disney Infinity stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really blur, whatever.
We're bringing in the Avengers.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hulk might be only in the Sony versions. Who can say? I don't know. Then the lovely live action trailer for Magicka 2. Actually, you know what? It's funny how Sony's general theme seemed to be more like fun and laughter, and a lot of the other conferences seem to have a lot more moments that just brought you down.
Brought you down. It's
like, hey,
we're
play very serious. But that Magicka 2, where they had the live action Magicka guy, and he was reminiscent about the past and blowing up his cat and stuff.
Oh my gosh!
And then they're bringing Magicka 2 to the PlayStation 4, and honestly, I saw that and I was just like, Of course.
Of course.
Of course. That would be the perfect game to play on the couch with other people.
Yep. I love seeing like the gameplay because like I never saw anything about Magicka. It flew over my head, and then when I saw this, I was just like, oh my gosh, this actually looks really fun.
Have you ever played it?
No.
Oh, it's awesome.
So it's one of those things where I was just like, great. It's another game brought in my eyes to something that like I might enjoy later down the road. And so I was like, and plus it was a trailer that I was just like, this makes me smile.
Right.
This doesn't make me want to like think about the decisions I've made with my life, you know? And so
yeah. And from there we saw one of the weirdest things. Apparently,
left field.
They're bringing Grim Fandango to the PlayStation 4. I think that's wonderful. I think that's a beautiful motherfucking thing.
They said it's remastered.
Yep.
And
it
so
better be. I played Grim Fandango recently.
And so I think what they're doing with this, I think their biggest thing that they're doing with this is bringing something from the old to the new.
Yeah.
Straight up. That's all it is.
It's another one of those things where you look at it and you go, I mean, they had this whole bit they did with Tim Schafer wrote a letter like he was a 10-year-old or whatever. 12-year-old. Okay.
12-year-old.
But the thing is that
little girl.
You know, like I own Grim Fandango, and it's hard to play Grim Fandango these days between 64-bit OS. I mean, not even just the graphics, right? But you have to jump through some hoops to get some of those old games to even run at all on a system. So the idea of taking a game that is as clever and well beloved as Grim Fandango, where let's be honest, all the music, all the dialogue is all still perfectly functional, and all you got to do is go back and redo the graphics. The puzzles all work. You know, you just update the control schema for a console, redo all the graphics, and I am excited because I know that there are people out there who have never played it, and they're going to get to play one of the best Tim Schafer games of all time, if not the best Tim Schafer game of all time. You know, because somebody had a win. Because I don't know, Tim Schafer was like, "Man, why can't I sell Grim Fandango for a fourth time?
Come on, people!"
Yeah,
I just like the build up for it. Like, yeah, the presentation was kind of cheesy, extremely cheesy, and the guy was like, "Oh, the little girl and Tim Schafer," and like as soon as people were like, "Wait, why is it was seriously like, why do they keep talking about Tim Schafer?"
Right,
and then it's like Tim Schafer, and it's like Grim Fandango, and it's like, oh my gosh,
and
thank you.
That's one of the weirdest things because, you know, I saw Tim Schafer and I was like, okay, so Tim Schafer's, they're bringing Broken Age to PS4, or they're making a new game for the PlayStation 4 or whatever, because they haven't been nostalgic.
No.
Like this is, you know, at this rate, folks, listen, I don't want to be the guy who gets you all whipped up into a frenzy after you've had your heart broken, but if Grim Fandango Remastered sells really well, Psychonauts 2, maybe.
Man.
Maybe. I'm just saying maybe. I'm saying real maybe, okay?
Maybe.
But I'm saying that if the market will show Sony that they're interested in getting remakes of Tim Schafer games.
Yeah.
Everybody's been saying Psychonauts 2 forever. So, from there was a big montage of indie stuff, including Broforce. I love Broforce.
Yeah, bro.
On the
Hotline
PlayStation
Miami
4.
2.
Yep. That Not a Hero game. I don't know what that is, but it looked interesting.
It looked like a freaking 8-bit John Woo like movie. Sliding and shooting.
It was all Devolver Digital, and I love Devolver Digital. They put out pretty solid shit. After that, there's going to be a new Suda 51 game. It's going to be a PlayStation exclusive. I can't tell what it's going to be. Dark halls with dudes stabbing dudes and points coming out. Like
in their underwear.
Hey,
it's Suda 51. You just go with it.
Real gross.
You just go with it.
People in the chat were saying, like, Jeff, what are we even looking at? I'm like, I don't know. I'll buy it.
Yeah, it's Suda 51, man. That guy, I think Grasshopper Studios, man, they just go off in like their own office building or whatever.
Yep.
And I want to know, I would love to be in a meeting, the first meeting where he's like, I got a new idea for a game, guys.
Right.
All right. So this guy He's going to be in his underwear.
Yeah.
He's going to have a big-ass sword.
Yep.
He's going to have a gun.
Okay.
And it's going to be a lot of blood.
Studio sounds like a dynamite winner.
Done. That's it.
That's
and there's going to be other people, but your character, you can make your character look however you want to make them.
Yeah.
Run around, kill people.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to show people at E3 this year. And let's put in some live action stuff in there too to really creep them the fuck out.
I go, how the fuck did Suda 51 get on the stage? I mean, he wasn't on stage, but how did his game even get in the Sony lineup? Like, I still don't understand how he keeps getting to make games. Like, I don't think
because they sell.
Do they really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the thing is, the thing is that I think about Sony is that there was a point where they were like numbers. They were going all over about the numbers of how many people are playing online.
Oh yeah,
all this and everything like that.
You mean the boring part we're going to skip over?
Yeah, completely. So this will be the only time we speak of this. But all of those people aren't in America,
right?
And I'm not going to say that he doesn't have an audience here in America because I know tons of people who play Suda 51 games. Like what was the last guy? I was jumping
Killer's Dead.
Yes, Killer is Dead. What was the one before that? The one where you're the
Shadows of Damned?
Yes.
Okay.
That guy.
I think there was a baseball one in between there.
Yeah,
whatever.
Something weird. Yes.
Whatever.
But Shadows of Damned. I know people who stand by that game.
Sure.
Well,
I guess Lollipop Chainsaw?
Lollipop Chainsaw?
Yeah.
Yes. I played Lollipop. I owned it and I loved it. I think it's because he is by far, if not only, the only person who is making those really off the freaking rocker games.
Yeah.
That people are like, this can't be bad.
Right.
And if it is bad, I think personally he has enough money to where he's just like, okay, on to the next one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like nobody really knows who Suda 51 is in his life, and because he's always walking around and like everybody who's with him is like proper.
Right.
He's like wearing like a flashy jacket, like,
right?
Pimping out. He's like
Tyler Durden.
Yeah, he's like hanging out with Jessica Negri, and so it's like, wait, hang on, buddy, what's going on here? So,
so that's Let It Die.
Let It Die.
Next year, Suda 51 craziness from there. It's a real short one from the makers of Journey called Abzu, swimming, scuba, underwater.
What is the waterologist?
Marine biologist?
If you want to become a marine biologist, I'm sure this will be the game for you.
It's
pretty.
Journey looked cool. So
who created Flow?
That game company.
It was that one?
Yes. Journey was one of those. I think these are actually... this is a new company called like Giant Squid, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
So Journey's art director is the one who did it. Real short trailer. It seemed like it was more aesthetic than anything else.
Not sad, once again.
I'd like to see more. Very tranquil.
Yeah, very tranquil, peaceful.
Just swimming around.
Something you would listen to if you wanted to take a nap.
I see the game developer logo, though, and it always reminds me of the guys from Game of Thrones, the Ironborn guys. I'm just like, ugh.
It makes me think of like the 30,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the monster that they fight.
Oh yeah, yeah,
because it's just a giant squid.
Yep.
But anyway,
from there, I think that a lot of people may have missed the coughing under their breath thing. That like console timed exclusive, but still of No Man's Sky on the PS4, and I was watching our chat, a lot of people freaking the fuck out because this is Hello Games, I believe, and they had that flood last year. And okay, I've seen this game now. They were on a planet, walking around, space dinosaurs, go into water, get in your ship, go up to
space,
like fly from the planet to space, shoot at capital ships, chase some fighters back down onto another planet. I have been waiting for that game my entire life. There better be some shit to do in that game besides identifying dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Or
just creatures in general.
It's procedurally generated. They said everybody's going to start on their own planet. where you're going to get to name everything. So my planet's going to have some really stupid names, you guys. Be ready for that right now.
Get ready for it.
That's right.
If you don't know where you're at, it just automatically assume you're on Jeff's planet.
Your planet rage select. You'd be like,
oh,
what is that thing called? Anus popsicle. That's
Anus
weird.
popsicle.
That's
What?
weird.
Balls deep. What?
So I got two things. I need to be able to pilot those goddamn capital ships that were out there. I really hope I can pilot capital ships. And I need something to do. I mean, even if it's just Minecraft and you are doing stuff and building stuff, it's got to be something that I can do outside of exploring, because exploring is great. Or if it's just exploring, I need to know what the tangible benefit to exploring is.
Right.
I feel, once again, like we've got a gameplay loop here that I'm missing the last 20% of.
There's something that
what is the reward?
Isn't there. Like for me, my brain automatically went to that it's a civilization type game.
Yeah.
Because if like this guy's like, we don't even know how far it goes, and I'm like, you're creating the end of the world.
Right.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're opening Pandora's box here, buddy. Bring it back. Put it into your game. When you the creator say out loud you don't know how big you've made your game,
Right.
scares me, because then also at the same time is what you're saying, what is your game about then?
Exactly. And that's just one of those things where, I mean, I eventually I got into Minecraft, but there's a lot of Minecrafty games out there, and a lot of them don't do really anywhere near as well as Minecraft.
Don't do anything.
Like, freeform exploration needs to have. You just have to have some kind of goal.
You have to, because they showed you, like, I love the colors, I love like the different species and the different planets, and like as soon as he hopped in that ship, I thought it was an X-wing.
Yeah,
but
it looks exactly like it. Well, Z95 Headhunter, but whatever. Star Wars nerds.
But as soon as he got in that ship, started flying around, and flew through the stratosphere into space, I was like, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that, and the fact that there was like dog fights, I was like, I like that. Kind of looked a little stiff, but also giving them the benefit of the doubt at this point in time of showing it. But then flying to another planet, I was just like, I hope at some point you can pull out a gun and literally raid somebody's planet.
Sure.
It's like, because in my head, if it's like a civilization game, then there's creation, destruction, and like stealing and doing all that stuff.
I would play the shit out of a game like that if it was that you start up a guild, like kind of Starbound style or whatever, and then you build yourself your settlement, and you're trying to get up the tech tree to get in better stuff, and then you use that stuff to go over to other people's planets and pillage their shit, just like America. Then I am fine with that. It's just, once again, I need to see more. What they showed is extremely interesting.
Yes.
Like, this has the potential to be one of those, like, holy shit, I've never played anything like this before. I'll remember this for the rest of my life.
Right. I hope it gets to that point.
Yeah. And we'll come back to this in the wrap up, but once again, timed console exclusive, meaning it's probably going to launch on the PC the same day as it does on the PlayStation 4, if not before, and it will come eventually to the Xbox One
in a few months
afterwards. Yeah. All right. Next up, this is where they started getting into some of the other stuff that we're going to skip through real fast. Project Morpheus is a thing. They have it at their booth. They didn't really show anything because it's stupid to show VR footage.
It's so hilarious, though, man.
Oh, what? Watching somebody with one of those things on?
Yeah, just flinging their arms. I'm like, I'm sign me off. That's where my gaming card ends. I will not.
Is VR?
I don't go into VR, man.
I'll tell you what, man. I'm gonna order the V2 Oculus Dev Kit. That happens. You come over here, you put that thing on, it will change your goddamn life.
And then when all of your shit in the room's broken, I'm sorry. It's just one of those things. Like I don't even like going to an arcade and getting one of those like mech warrior machine things that move you around. It's like, for me, I don't know. I love the controller in my hand, looking at the screen. That's it. I don't want to be full-fledged. That's why I don't play the dance games.
Oh, no, but see, that's the thing. And that's one of the reasons that I love the fact that Morpheus is here, is that, like, what I played was you put on the headset, you have your controller to move around, you just have the freedom to look around in this environment, and it takes up your entire field of view instead of being on a television.
Okay.
I don't want to... Dude, I'm full-on record. I don't want to stand up and wave my arms around to play video games, all right? but that doesn't seem to be what this is.
The game that tells Jeff that he has to stand up, and he's like, "Nope, not playing this one. I'm not playing this one. I'm sitting on my chair."
That's right.
But no, I will say this: I won't sign it off. I'll say this: I won't buy it.
Okay.
I will play it.
Yep.
I won't buy it.
Change your life.
I'm not.
I think it'll change your life personally. All right. Well, so he did Project Morpheus. There's a bunch of free-to-play games coming out. That whole montage of that.
Love it. PS Plus, baby. Okay. Get it if you don't have it.
Well, no, but this was actually just straight up free-to-play with microtransactions.
Free-to-play. Yeah. Where the guy was like, it's really free to play. I'm
like you don't even need gold you don't even need the PlayStation Plus to do it.
It was like, what? It was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. All that microtransaction stuff, I was like, all right, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
PlayStation Now is going into open beta, and they're putting a few things out on it. I think I got to try that out. That's the streaming service.
Yeah, I have the beta.
Is it any good?
Yes.
Okay.
I have it for the PS3 and PS4, and so it's yes.
Okay. Over 100 Vita titles in development. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, because see, what's funny when they said that, I read a few articles from different sites saying that E3 might, depending on what happens, might have been the nail in the coffin for the Vita. Because they were like, nobody knows what's going on with the Vita anymore.
Yeah.
Since the PlayStation 4 has been out, there's been the remote play, but a lot of people aren't really using it.
Yeah.
And so, like, I know Borderlands 2 just got released for the Vita, and so
it's all right.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what most people were saying. So people were like, we don't know what's going to happen with this hardware, and then finally they're like 100 titles, and so it's like people were like, oh,
finally a reason,
because like I got a Vita for Christmas from my girlfriend. And I was ecstatic about it. Yeah. I was just like, yay, another handheld. Yes, when I'm out and about, I can play this. And then when I started hearing people being like, oh, we don't know what's going to happen. And then when they finally were like 100 titles, it's like, yay, it's not useless.
Right. Let's see. On top of that, they're bringing the PlayStation TV Vita as the Vita TV in Japan, right?
Yeah.
PlayStation TV to the US for $100, $150 bundle with a controller and a memory card, I think.
Yeah, memory card and the Lego Movie game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing about that is, I guess at some point I need to get my Vita streaming with my PS4, because if I could get a $100 thing to put downstairs that would stream my PS4 to my downstairs TV without having to pick the thing up and move it, I would pay $100 for that.
Yes.
If it's cuts out and it's shitty, I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, no, you know what? I'm going to get one anyway, because if we ever want to play a Vita game, now we can play Vita games on the Dojo.
On the Dojo.
So
on a big-ass screen.
That's right.
That's what I was excited about.
Okay. After that, we saw the first gameplay footage from Mortal Kombat 10. Aaron, I think you feel about this the way that I feel about.
As soon as that guy
Bloodborne
said Mortal Kombat, because I knew the new CEO, like he was talking about, like he got his start in Japan.
Yeah,
and then so he was like the first game we brought over there was Mortal Kombat 3, and I was just like, yes, it was. Where are you going with this?
Yep.
And he said, with that, and I will go ahead and a little backtrack. That CEO, that dude could talk. Out of everybody who presented stuff, I will say this: he was the only one that I felt could talk to the crowd. And he was talking like a politician. His energy was a little low, but the things that were coming out of his mouth, I was just like, I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
Everyone else, I was just like, I'm sorry, the guy with the letters, I was like, get out of here. I don't care. This guy, I was just like, also mainly because he was the CEO.
Right.
So he kind of knew stuff. But Mortal Kombat, my God.
Yeah.
My God.
So,
it's how I called it.
Yeah.
When we were playing Ultra Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the Injustice engine, polished smooth.
Yeah.
With just beautiful brutality all throughout, and new character designs for Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Then we got 2 new characters in there.
Yeah, this bee lady or whatever, insect lady.
I will say she's maybe like a hornet.
Okay.
Or something. Like I was chatting with a friend earlier, and he was like, yeah, she controls bees. I was like, I think she is an insect.
Yes.
I think she is an insect. And
I think it's obvious,
and then
right?
the other character, I'm just straight up calling them Master Blaster. Yes. Yes.
And not a single person so far has just been like, fucking Master Blaster, man.
Master Blaster. This is like rules, Bartertown. Is that his fatality? His fatality should be called Bartertown.
Bartertown.
Thunderdome.
So yeah, we saw some fights. It looks very similar to the combat system of Mortal Kombat 9, except with the environmental stuff from Injustice.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, once again, I hate to keep harping on this, but I do want to know how the fuck they're going to resolve the story at the end of Mortal Kombat 9.
Because the worlds that they showed are completely different. It don't even look like they could be with Mortal Kombat 9 unless we start getting some crazy time travel shit.
All I know is that I hope that Ed Boon and the Mortal Kombat team have learned the lessons of why the new characters they tried to put into the last few games before Mortal Kombat 9 sucked and are able to give us better characters than that.
Yeah. But what I'm waiting for, because here's a little fun fact for you guys, Raiden and Scorpion have been the only two characters in every Mortal Kombat game.
Okay.
And so we've already got Scorpion. He's on the box cover.
Yeah.
So he's already looking delicious. I want to see Raiden. Because everybody, both Scorpion and Sub-Zero, have both gotten two completely different character designs, and they don't look similar.
No.
At all. And they used to be the Ken and Ryu of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think the design started changing. I think it was 9 that made, like, the suits look like they had a different pattern or something like that.
I think that started around 2.
Well,
right?
I mean, when
are you talking about dramatic?
Dramatic, super dramatic changes. And so, because I know in 2 and 3, there was the Scar, no mask Sub-Zero and stuff.
Right.
But it's just I'm extremely excited for this one because it's a fighting game and it's Mortal Kombat and I'm ready to get good and smash people. Yeah. And those X-rays.
Oh. Dude, that fatality where it's got it's a hole and then the heart drops down, or the one where he reaches in there to break its spine. I was like,
did you see the Aztec god dude squeeze the heart and the blood? I was just like, what is this, Apocalypto? What's going on?
Bees eating Sub-Zero's face. Like, yes, thank you.
They stepped it. They're going. What is above M in the video game rating world?
Right. AO.
AO.
It's AO.
Yeah, bring it.
All right, after that, Ratchet and Clank movie trailer?
Yeah, they got all... That's a horrible jump.
Yeah.
It was a horrible jump.
Yes.
Like, here's death, murder, destruction, and mayhem. Ratchet and Clank, the movie.
Yeah. Which I have to say, I have always enjoyed the writing and the voice direction and the cutscenes in Ratchet and Clank. I think it is a perfect fit to be a movie. I think it'd be a whole movie franchise because I think that the cutscenes in those games are just as good as half the animated shit that I've seen in the theaters.
Correct.
So that looks really good. Then not Sony, Naughty Dog, you need to stop being a fuckhead. Because this trailer may contain spoilers for The Last of Us PS4 version. Why does this trailer need to contain spoilers? It wasn't a story trailer.
Nope.
It was stuff that all of us that played The Last of Us already knew about. Literally the only thing that you were doing was fucking up The Last of Us for people who had not yet played it, and you were doing it by very specifically finding every spoiler that you could and then showing them in a montage.
And the thing is, it almost went in order. Almost.
Yes.
Almost.
I'm like, you guys, there's no reason that you needed to do that. You could have shown us there are so many exciting parts of The Last of Us that don't give anything away at all whatsoever.
There's clickers.
I think, are you trying to re-hype us up for The Last of Us because those of us that are going to buy that edition are already hyped up, and the people who are not going to... Yeah. Okay, never mind.
I'll just say this. It looked beautiful.
It looked really good.
It looked gorgeous.
Fantastic.
I was... after a while, I did start laughing because I was just like, I wonder how many people there are covering their eyes or going, what the fuck?
Right. That was the part that was, for me at home, you could turn off the stream. But for the poor people who were at the convention center who hadn't played the game before, I've never seen an E3 thing where they're just like, Yeah. I mean, like most of the time they avoid spoilers. Right?
Completely. This one was like, hey, you know what? I think you know what happened. I think Naughty Dog and Sony were both like, you're gonna get it anyway. You're gonna get it anyway, which is true.
It was so unnecessary, and I was one of the things where I was just like, God damn you guys. I can say that having recently, Grant and I play The Last of Us every week. It did look crisper. It did look cleaner. It seemed to be running at a higher frame rate. I know specifically there was one part of a cutscene where they shot a window and it seemed to break better with more particle effects. There was one split second where you saw some water that seemed to be having much better fluid effects on it. It's not exactly the jump from Halo CE to Halo Anniversary Edition, but it does look better.
Yeah.
And I think that
I saw Joel's tear.
Yeah.
I saw his tear run down his face, and I was just like, nice.
I think that if you haven't played The Last of Us yet, if you've managed to hold out, this is a great place to play it.
Amazing place. I have The Last of Us for the PS3, and I'm still getting The Last of Us remastered for the PS4.
I feel like they really need to come out and tell us if there is an upgrade path.
Yes.
If you already own on the PS3, can you pay them like $10 to get on the PS4, or is it going to be a full $60? Because I feel like a lot of people who already own it, that's going to be the clincher, right? You don't want to have to buy that game all over again if it's just the same game.
Even more money, because PS4.
Everybody, Aaron, everybody on the internet was asking me, Jeff, there's a Metal Gear trailer, and I have to be a little disappointing.
Okay.
So here's the thing. You a fan of Metal Gear? No? Okay. No. I understand.
Yeah.
Everybody has to be.
Yeah.
In the past, Metal Gear trailers are exciting.
Mm-hmm.
They'll tell you stuff about the story. And they usually have a little bit of goofy humor in them. Usually at the very end of the trailer, there'll be a little bit of a goofy stinger type of thing. Or you'll see some stuff throughout the trailer.
Okay.
For Ground Zeroes and Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain, it has been a non-stop ride of things are fucking terrible with no relenting whatsoever. Last year, they had that trailer that plays at the end of Ground Zeroes it wasn't that. There was a trailer. It was our E3 trailer last year. It had taken the thing out of the midsection.
Yeah, I remember that.
And just brutal shit, and it was really like the child soldiers and blood diamonds.
Yeah,
and
didn't they say like this trailer might be hard to watch?
Yes,
at one point,
and it was kind of hard to watch. There was implications there of different things that were happening, grim, gritty, serious characters, and so this trailer that came out for Metal Gear Solid 5 is a fine trailer. There's no problems with it.
True.
Once again, though, this is a mournful song with a grim goddamn trailer that is all cutscene and drama, and I'm getting to the point now where I need something besides that.
You need a break.
Last year they had that trailer that showed the time lapse, like moving through the desert, getting in a jeep, sneaking over here, sneaking over here, sneaking over here, sneaking over here, sneaking over here. I need to see more of that because I'm sure that the story of Metal Gear is going to be dramatic. Yes, I'm sure it's going to be difficult. Sure. You've made it clear you're going to chop people's arms off all the time. It's just going to be the arm choppingest game in the world.
Ever.
There's going to be children, and there's going to be shit that happens to them, and it's going to be unpleasant. I know all this already. So this is a wonderful trailer, and if it was the first trailer to come out, I would be like, that was gorgeous.
Right.
I don't know why Big Boss needed to rub that dude's ashes on his face, because he could have just not done that.
And just dumped him into the water like he was supposed to.
Well, see, okay, here's the other weird thing is that trailer, there's an extended version of that trailer.
Okay. In
the trailer, they're burying the people from Outer Heaven that were killed in the attack at the end of Ground Zeroes. I'm sorry, I haven't said spoilers. Whatever, you guys. Whatever. Skip ahead if you don't want to hear any of this. They've got them all cremated and they've got them in things, and so they're getting ready to take them. And he takes one of them and he takes him over and he takes the ashes and he puts the ashes on his face. And at the end of the trailer, which they actually cut off for that, Master Miller comes up to him and says, what do? You mean we're not going to bury them? And he says something like, no, we're going to make them into diamonds, and we're going to take the diamonds with us. We're going to carry them into battle with us because they're all the diamond dogs, right? And it was an interesting point, and it made a lot more sense with that. And then when they showed the Sony thing, they cut that whole end part off.
Yeah, and it was like...
There was also a part that I don't know if they showed in that trailer where Skullface from the original trailers and Big Boss were, like, chilling together, walking away from the same place together.
No.
So they cut that trailer down a little bit, and it showed some stuff. It showed Quiet. It showed a character which may or may not be Liquid Snake as a little kid. It did show the child soldier angle, and in fact, it looked like Big Boss might be recruiting child soldiers.
Yeah.
Which he's already said that they're gonna deal with some fucked up shit in this game. They already have. But anyway, everybody was just like, Jeff must be so excited. I am excited for the game. I think that trailer looks good. I really would have preferred something that would assure me that this is not going to be 12 hours of soul-crushing seriousness instead of a little bit of crazy nuttiness.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm not a Metal Gear fan, but it's one of those things where I know from a Kojima game that it's going to look amazing. I know the cutscenes, especially now in the next gen, are going to look damn good.
Mm-hmm.
And so I completely understand what you're saying, just from a gamer perspective of needing to have that break of show some stuff in the game, show a guy with the show break us away from this thing that's bringing us down, and like it's like you said, it's like I guess it was the theme of E3. We got to have something in there that just makes people feel really just. Ugh.
But see, you know what? I'll go off on a tangent for a little bit, right? Just real briefly. I have come to a point in my life where I don't appreciate that because it is. I got to tell you that if you look at fiction and if you are in any way, shape, or form an artistic or creative or person, it is really easy to bum people out.
Yes.
There is a formula for bumming people out.
For real.
All you have to do is show somebody who's happy and then something shitty happens to them, or like, oh, here's a person that has been wronged or their life is not going the way that it's supposed to. And it's real easy to do that. It's a real easy way to get a cheap emotional effect out of people. And that's one of the reasons that I don't appreciate this many trailers is because this many trailers doing that thing because it's not hard to do. So, but yes.
I got another question.
Yes.
And this is something easy you can answer because I don't follow Metal Gear.
Yes.
Why he got shrapnel in his head?
If I don't entirely well, okay, there's a thing that happens at the end of Ground Zeroes that sets up what's going on here.
Phantom Pain.
Right.
Okay.
There's a reason that he has the arm and stuff, that there was an injury at the end of that, and I assume that part of it is going to be that he has shrapnel stuck in his head that can't be removed or else it'll fuck up his brain or whatever. I don't know.
Whoa.
But yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're watching the very end of that trailer just so I can see what's going on. I mean, looks
like that. That's like Carrie shit right there.
It looks very brutal. And, and the thing is,
that makes me want to play, but I know it's not going to be like that. I'm sorry.
It's pretty brutal. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yes.
Which looks fantastic and kind of makes me want to go back and play Grand Theft Auto 5 all over again.
It's going to happen for me. I had it on the PS3, and it was just one of those games, and I know I'm going to get hate for this, but it was one of those games in my life, in the games that I play, that got lost.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
where you just put it down and you never got back to it?
Never got back to it.
And you tried to pick it up and you're like, where was I?
Yeah,
what the fuck's going on here?
And there's nothing wrong with it because I thought it was an amazing game. It was just one of those that just fell to the wayside. But I'm happy now that it's coming back to, not coming back, but it's going to the PS4. And looks damn good.
I think this is another one of those ones where if you listen to the language of it, that it's going to be timed.
Yes.
For the PS4.
Well, no, it is coming. It was released. I read something today that it is coming out for the Xbox One.
Yeah,
and so it's like
I mean, Rockstar doesn't play that
no,
shit.
Rockstar's like, we want money.
They'll give you 4 months maybe.
Yeah,
but they're not gonna be like, no, we're not putting out Grand Theft Auto 5 on the Xbox. they also I find the strange thing about this, and I don't know if they've announced it by the time that we're recording this, is this obviously means there's going to be a PC release as well.
Yeah,
because this x86 architecture on the PS4, they got to convert to that. They're obviously going to be putting it out on the goddamn PC.
Yeah,
but so yeah, it was a good new trailer. It looks really good. I really want to go back and play it.
Yeah, it just looks really, really good.
It looks really good on the last gen consoles.
And it looks even better. See, what for me, like, it's being released. Did they say when it was going to be released?
I don't think so. I don't think they had a
because
if
it's not going to be like fall towards the end of this year, of course it's going to be 2015. But for me, I said when Grand Theft Auto 5 got announced, I was like, they need to wait. They need to wait to bring it out for the next gen consoles because it was one of those games that were there at the end. And so for me, now that they're like, hey, it's coming to the next gen consoles, I was just like, of course, they needed to take their sweet little time to make it as gorgeous as possible.
PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
They're taking pre-orders now.
Yeah, pre-orders now. Oh, wait, come on. The story said that it had a release date, fall 2014.
Yeah.
So before the year is out.
Yeah. So it's going to be a holiday game.
Yeah.
Again.
Yep.
What, wouldn't that be like almost a full year? Because didn't it come out? It came out the same time around as The Last of Us, didn't it?
No.
And that was...
Well, that was... I think that it originally released in the... God damn it. They tend to release in like June or July.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. GTA 5. September 17th.
Okay.
Of last year.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a little over a year.
Okay.
Which is cool. I mean,
Nothing wrong
Red
with
Dead
that.
never got a PC release, so all right.
It's coming back.
Then there was the Arkham Knight.
Oh my gosh.
And this is the first time, at least I think I've seen actual gameplay from Arkham Knight. Batman jumping off a building, got his suit, got the stuff going on.
I know people are saying that the bat suit's too Iron Man-esque. He's got money.
Yeah.
The dude's going to have different suits.
Yeah.
It's as long as it's not the suit from the movies, I'm good because obviously this Batman can still do what the Batman does. It's freaking rock steady.
Yep.
It's back in the right hands.
Yep.
It's gorgeous. I even like the last trailer that came out on TV that they said, wait till you see the it even said E3.
Oh yeah.
You'll be able to see the Batmobile mode. And so when this happened, I was just like, get in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, he's flying. I go, he's flying. He's not gliding. He's flying.
Yeah.
And
he jumped from so high up this time.
So high.
Like the tallest point in Arkham City is like nothing. Is on the ground compared to how far up he was in that tower when he jumped off of it.
And so and then he takes off and he gets in there's like a reticle marker for the car to stop at. I think that's what he called the car in and he gets in the car. Of course it's like a pre-animation thing to get in the car. And what I was seriously thinking, because you've already claimed that you're not a good driver in the video games.
This is true.
And so I love trying to drive like you're supposed to drive in the video games.
Sure.
And then also doing the extreme stuff. I was waiting because that car was huge.
Yes.
It took up both lanes.
Sure.
I was waiting for him to hit stuff. And then he took a corner a little too tight.
Yep.
And he hit a rail.
Yep.
And I saw the spark. And I was just like, okay, that's one. And then he goes up the stairs. I was just like, oh, is he going to try to go up the middle of the stairs? No. He runs through the freaking cement rail.
Yep.
I lost my shit. It's a tank.
It's funny because he did that. He ran up those stairs and just tore through that concrete. I don't think he hit a single car.
No.
Not a single car.
Nope.
And I was like, is the person playing this that good? Is there some kind of boundary to keep me from hitting cars? Because I got to tell you, one of my this is not to go off on a tangent, but one of my pet peeves in what Dark Knight was, I'm like, that dude just blew up everybody's car to save 20 seconds to get over to that street. Like,
right.
And I like the fact that you're driving here and there were other cars and you were going, apparently the thing handles tight enough that you can Tokyo drift your way through that shit.
I think you're going to be able to smash into anything
except
the buildings. I think the buildings are going to be your stopping point.
Loco Steve wants to knock over some buildings.
And so, but oh my gosh, man. And what I hated was that, you're playing the game, you're seeing people play the game, and of course, when you see people play the game, you see things that, of course, they see, but for the presentation, they had to skip over some stuff.
Right.
I'm like, glide kick that fool.
Yeah.
Glide kick, he's right there. Why are you floating over him? Who cares who's over there? Glide kick that guy. I want to see the glide kick. But then the combat, it looked like there was like more... like an even bigger free-form flow.
Well, let's hold on for just a second. Before we get to that, we got to talk about the Batmobile transforms, and then a bunch of rockets and stuff come out because apparently Arkham Knight has these unmanned tanks because Batman doesn't blow people up.
Correct.
Sure, he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't kill anybody.
But what's interesting was that when in that battle mode, when the wheels come popping out, that it was able to strafe.
Yeah.
Like it didn't have to go like a car, right?
And it was like jutting.
Yeah, like
side to side.
Dashing, and dodging and stuff. It's weird. So he blows up a couple tanks and then he goes, and this is actually something that I'd heard of before, that you can do at any point in time is that he starts driving away and then launches out of the Batmobile so high, so far up in the air, and comes gliding down. And
He's
there was
his own bat signal.
Yeah. It was weird, though, because he started driving the Batmobile and got it going really fast before he popped out. So I'm wondering if how fast the Batmobile is going is how far up you go out of it.
Well, I think he hit the boosters on it, too.
Yeah.
So I think it is one of those assisted catapults. Who knows? It might have something where, like, the seat just, like, cannon fires you out. That'd be a weird ejection seat, but I understood. Like when I saw him driving, I was just like, he's going towards the water.
Right.
What's going to happen? And then it stopped and it just launched him. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So then he comes down to the location where he's at, and then this is before he went, and so he lands on a rail, kind of Predator style, like he normally does.
Yeah.
And then there were two options. There was stealth takedown and fear takedown. And he did the fear takedown, and when he did that, the guys started freaking out.
Yeah.
Like
it's the Batman.
Right. They had guns, but I think that it was so brutal or whatever that he did that it fucked them all up. So then he goes in, and it's the Penguin's house, and the Penguin's distributing stuff. And then, okay, listen, you were watching the stream, right?
Yes.
Camera guy cuts to the audience, right? Because he wants to catch what happens next. I actually saw, like, there's no spoilers or anything. There was actually stuff happening on the screen, but the camera guy cuts to the audience because he wants everybody to see their cleverness.
Yeah.
So Rocksteady created these glitches in the game, and then the game locks up, and it's like the presentation is fucked up, but it's actually Scarecrow, who is apparently the big bad in this game.
Yes. About time. He's been a little bitch on the sidelines in the other ones.
He definitely has. He comes out and he talks about fear. He's got the gas mask shit screwed into his jaw.
Well, yeah, he looked real mangled and messed up, and
like
it didn't look like he had lips.
Nope. Which was weird because he talked very eloquently. It was John Noble.
Yes,
was the voice of him, and I was like, you know that when you don't have lips,
you can't really.
There's some words that you can't say correctly when you can't use your lips. That's all I'm going to say.
You sound like Fire Marshal Bill.
That's right. Yeah. But so I think it was a great demo.
Amazing.
I haven't seen Arkham Knight yet. I am now just more excited than I could be.
I want to know who. It's like, it made me want to go. I was like, okay, we got the Penguin. I know from previous trailers, you got Two-Face,
right?
And pre-order, you can get Harley Quinn,
right?
And you got Scarecrow,
right?
But Batman's thing was, who is the Arkham Knight? Where is the Arkham Knight?
Yep.
I want to know who. I don't follow DC. Let the hate begin. But I don't know if he's a character in that world or not.
This is a brand new original character made up by Rocksteady.
Then we're all in the same boat. I want to know who the Arkham Knight is.
Yeah,
it's like that made me. That was enough for me to go. even I was already going to get the game.
Yeah.
But that made me go like, I want to know more about the story.
Yeah.
Instead of the gameplay. Because they showed the gameplay. Now I'm like, okay, tell me more about the story.
Yeah.
And that Scarecrow thing, man, was... I
was really upset with Scarecrow I was into the demo. Like, I want more demo, right?
Like, when it started glitching, I was just like, somebody's going to get fired. Oh, wait, no.
Yeah. He's in a room full of guys. I want to see what the free flow combat looks like now. Anyway, looks fantastic. Looks like it played really well. It's worth, of course, noting. We'll talk about this just very briefly before we wrap up because we only got a couple more things. That obviously this is not Sony exclusive.
No.
But I think they were real smart out of everybody to lock
Very.
that shit down into their press conference because stupid people who don't pay attention are probably going to think that it's a Sony exclusive. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
In the beginning, I thought it was, but then also at the same time, I was like, Rocksteady isn't a company that would do that.
Yeah.
Because there are companies out there that it's not bad that they want the money. It's just that they know they have a product and they're not going to pigeonhole themselves into making a large amount of money,
right?
Knowing that they can make even more if they just distribute it with someone else. And so it's one of those things where I was like, thank you for coming to the PlayStation first.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that my Microsoft compadres will get a taste of this, but I'm going to be playing it first. So thank you.
Well, I don't think there's any timed exclusive for it. I think it's going to come out day and date, same on both consoles.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Okay.
I think it will. It might come out on the PlayStation first.
They can't do that.
They can't do that. Okay.
That would be.
Wait, never mind. There it is.
Yeah,
right there.
That would be. People would like revolt in the streets, and there'd be like antitrust lawsuits or whatever. I don't know. They haven't actually announced a release date, but I think that they can't even timed. They could do like timed pre-order DLC, right?
Yeah.
But they can't not put Arkham Knight out on the same day for the Xbox as they do on the PlayStation. That would just be crazy. And then last but not least, I swear to God, I was in the chat when this was going on, and I thought that they were all going to start killing each other. And then, because I think that everybody thought that the Sony conference was going to end with Batman. But oh no!
Nope.
There's a new Uncharted game.
Yep.
And we knew there was going to be an Uncharted game. Actually, I'll tell you, the thing about it that got me more than anything is when I was watching the stream, it kind of glitched a little bit. So I was watching in low res, and then later on I went on and watched full 1080p trailer on YouTube, where they come up at the beginning and say, this is all in-game footage, and then they show a close-up of Nathan Drake's face, and fuck goddamn shit.
Good Lord.
The water and his stubble and the dirt and the lines.
The wrinkles and the blood and the hair.
Yeah.
I was like, and you can go back and look at the trailer. I'm not a perv. When he sits up in the water, he is still on his knees.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's ever laid down in water in your full clothes before.
Yeah.
I do it a lot. Don't worry about it. Don't ask me any questions. It's okay. I get paid to do it. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. That makes it sound way more nefarious than it actually is. So
anyway, when he sat up, and this is something I looked for, and this is how much of a I really nitpick. There was water coming off, dripping off of his pants.
Yep.
And I was like, you're kidding me.
Right.
This is you're kidding me. Get out of here, Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
You guys are, and this is where I'm like, you were right. If you didn't think the Uncharted game was going to come out, your thought process is wrong. Yeah, they've had issues with the company and people leaving and people coming in and people taking over and doing all this other stuff. That is their baby.
Yeah.
There is no way.
Well, Sony backs the dump truck up and says,
seriously,
tell us how much.
Uncharted 4? Sure.
Doesn't matter how much. Yeah,
bring it in.
You tell us when to stop. When you've got too much money, then tell us to stop.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll tell you. No problem. And that's why, and the first thing we ever saw was the voiceover and the map.
Yep.
And then people were trying to dissect that. Like, what's the game about? Who cares? It's Uncharted 4, man.
Yeah.
It's treasure hunting, some thieves.
Well, once again, we had a sad, quiet trailer because there was a lot of this. There was this conversation between
him and Sully.
Yeah. And the way that Sully was talking, he's like, "You've been out of the game for a while. These people are fucked up. You might not want to do this." And he's like, "No, I've got to do this
one more time."
It's called Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, which has some implications. I don't know. Okay, Aaron. All right, you know what? Fuck it. It's not fair. I don't give a fuck. I want you to put money on the table right now. Nathan Drake dead at the end of this one? Yes or no?
No.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes because Naughty Dog is not owned by Sony, and I'm sure they're tired of making Uncharted games, and so they're going to just kill that motherfucker off. They're going to get all the feels out of you.
Oh, man. Well, okay, wait. Can I retract my comment? Let me retract my comment because I'm thinking of another Naughty Dog game that they just I retract my comment. Yeah, Nathan Drake is gonna die.
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. But the thing I saw, he has a wedding ring on.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah, he's got a wedding ring on. So there's a lot of
Elena
something.
Is that her name?
Yeah,
the blonde one.
The blonde one.
Yep.
Not Claudia Black.
Should have gone with Claudia Black.
always bet on black.
Always bet on black. Yeah, exactly.
Here's my question because a lot of people thought in Uncharted 3, Sully was going to die.
Yep. I thought that the entire goddamn
whole time. I thought a lot of people were going to die, but it's one of those things where like you are completely right. And Naughty Dog has their own property, and they can do whatever the hell they want to do with it, and I think they will. If they don't kill off Drake, I do believe they will make an ending to where it won't be able to continue.
Maybe so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that this may not be the last Uncharted game, but and once again, I've talked about this before. I like it when they write an end to characters because the alternative usually is that Naughty Dog will stop making these, another company will pick them up, and they may be good, they may be just as good as they are right now, but it's a dice roll.
Yeah.
While Uncharted 5 is in development, we're not going to know. They're going to be like, well, we decided to take the new direction of reimagine, and you're just like, no.
God.
All the worst words. Quit saying those words. But I would like it if they tied the series up with a bow and then went on to do something else because they've been doing Uncharted since the launch of the PlayStation 3.
I'd love it if they did a little, like all you Microsoft fanboys out there getting your Halo. I'd love it if
Aaron,
PS4 got a little Uncharted.
Oh, the
1
Uncharted
through 3.
1 through 3 collection?
Yeah, because Uncharted 3 multiplayer, goddamn.
Yeah.
The best in the world.
It was really,
not the best in the world, but the best.
You know what? It's
Uncharted. the best of that world.
Aaron, you say whatever you want to. I'm not here.
I'm not policing you.
I'm not your parent. I'm not.
But no, it's I see something like that possibly being have been talked about.
Yeah. But
it's probably not going to happen because that would just be a lot of, because already the Uncharted games looked amazing.
Yeah.
On the platforms they were on, and so you saw how long it's taken them to do Last of Us. Because like with the Last of Us for the PS3, they're still releasing DLC and patches and stuff.
Yeah.
And the same stuff is going to have to come out with the PS4 one, and so it's like they already upped it. It's been a year.
Yeah.
And so it's like they've had time, but I think what Naughty Dog does, they focus on, like, they had The Last of Us.
Yeah.
And now they have Uncharted 4. And so I don't think, and I wouldn't say it's a waste of time, but I don't think they would actually be like, hey, we're going to bring out a collector's edition. But
if they were going to do that, I think it would depend entirely on how well The Last of Us PS4 sells.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that was the Sony conference, and that was a great way to end.
Oh, man.
Yes. See you next year. And so it's been pointed out, I don't like to generally engage in the whole who won the press conference thing because, I don't know, it's hard. It's apples and oranges kind of stuff. I will say this, though. I feel like Sony did not have as many exclusives.
Nope.
That was just a fact. But their show was a lot more kind of colorful, and they had a lot more like people playing the games as opposed to real short trailers. So as a press conference, I probably enjoyed it more than Microsoft, but don't take that to mean like, you know, like we're talking about which movie did you like better, the Microsoft conference or the Sony conference, not who's going to win the next 10 years of grim, gritty console wars, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to win, but I did enjoy it quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said at the when we're talking about Ubisoft, it's one of those that Sony's all about the numbers.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't think they're business.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one way I always think about Sony is like they're not a video game company. They started as they didn't start as a video game company, but like they're a business and like the numbers don't lie. That's cool. With Microsoft, whoever their CEO is, he came into that day and he was just saying it's going to be all about the games.
Yeah.
It was a little too sporadic and it was a little too fast. And like you said, wish there was more game play, people on stage. But for me, I'm biased. I've been Sony since, you know, day one. I bought a PlayStation 2 game before I even had a PlayStation 2.
That's commitment right there.
I bought a PlayStation 2 game in a different state before I had a PlayStation 2 back home.
That is serious commitment right there.
SSX, what up? And so started it all. But it was one of those things. But I did have the original Xbox. That was actually the first new gen system I guess I had.
Okay.
And bring back Jade Empire, BioWare.
Yeah.
If I'll say this, going on record on the interwebs to the end of time, if BioWare brings back Jade Empire,
okay,
Aaron Alexander will buy whatever Xbox system it comes on. That will be literally the only game oh my gosh. If that one comes back, they've already brought back Crackdown.
Yeah.
They brought back Killer Instinct.
Right.
If they bring back Jade Empire, all bets are off.
Okay.
I will become a Microsoft fanboy.
Okay.
All bets are off. But with that, I am one who dwells into the who won what. I think Sony won just because it was colorful. It was a presentation. They played the games. They gave you things right then and there.
Yeah.
After they showed it to you, and there weren't any exclusives, but I think now,
I mean, there were some.
There was some.
It wasn't as exclusive focused.
Right.
It seemed more like they were. I mean, they were bringing stuff out like Far Cry 4. I was talking with somebody about this today. They did exactly what they did last year.
Yes.
They had some exclusives, but they were more trying to just show you games you want to play at their conference. And whether that will work for them, I don't know. It seems to be working so far.
Yeah, so I think the way Sony's going now, because of they have these numbers backing them, I think they no longer care about exclusivity as much.
Okay.
Whereas Xbox, like, that'll be the first thing they say.
Yep.
It's like, only for the Xbox. Xbox gets this first. It's like, cool, I understand that. You can have it.
Yeah.
But like Sony's like, we're about games, and like whether it's independent, first party, third party, it doesn't matter. We're about games, and we're about showing you these games. Here they are.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was like, that's what I love seeing. So it would go Sony, Microsoft, Ubisoft, then EA.
Okay.
EA, I was
like,
just
you didn't even watch Nintendo?
I watched the trailer for Devil's Third and the awesome trailer for Smash Brothers.
Okay.
That trailer, just because I do fight choreography, I was just like, these two old men doing nothing, because obviously they had stunt doubles for most of that.
Right.
But that was entertainment. And I was like, that's what you need, because it had foolishness, gameplay, and it got the job done. Video game world companies, if you listen to this, stop making emotional trailers, man. Please. Like, sometimes it works, but like Jeff said, it's really easy to bring somebody down.
Sure is.
You don't want somebody like feeling depressed after.
Well, the other thing is, you don't want to do it too much because then we will all be burned out and you won't be able to do it anymore.
Yeah.
You want to save it for the day when you need a thing, not for every single thing that comes out.
Yeah, so. do stuff like the bus ride in Far Cry 4.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's horrible, but also at the same time, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's like Nicolas Cage in Face Off.
Exactly.
Freaking ridiculous.
Well, Aaron, we're going to wrap it up. We've got for, like 2 hours and 15 minutes or something like that. So, everybody, thank you, Aaron, for coming by.
Thank you for having me once again.
We are going to be back tomorrow with John and I talking about Nintendo and maybe a couple of other things in between. And then catch us back here on Friday. Jason and I are going to have our wrap-up for the whole show, and then we're going to have our normal Q&A podcast. So join us then. And Aaron, I will see you later.
Catch you later, guys.